Okay. Can people hear me? How's this working? All right. Ryguy, welcome. So I'm going to give some time for people to gather. Okay, so going to let some people filter in before we actually get started here. But this is the stream where we will be celebrating getting to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're going to take call-ins. We're going to take questions. If you guys have been in one of these streams before, you know how it works. Hey, Nicholas, welcome. Troops, welcome. What's going on with Oregon, Ryguy? All right, so we got a few people in here now. You can also join through the Discord. Just join the voice channel that says on stream, and I will pull you in when the opportunity allows. I know the green screen effect is not perfect, but I'm using the StreamYard native one, so it's not going to be. But yeah, we're doing the best we can here. I think this works okay. Oh, 12 man on the field. 12 men on the field penalties enrage me. You know, I was so mad when I shot that post-game video for the Huskies. I forgot to even mention our penalties on the first drive of the game. 12 men in the huddle and then delay a game. Who does that? All right. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to post the link to join the stream. You guys can click on it and come in and be on stream with me. And, you know, conduct yourself in a normal manner. Ryguy, it's going to be both. People can do it whichever way they want to do it, whichever way they want to do, they like better. But basically, people can come in and we can talk for a little bit. We can talk about Seahawks stuff. We can talk about other stuff maybe, but mostly Seahawks stuff. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and try to give everybody a chance who wants to come in. So I'm posting the link in chat now. And that's how you guys can come through. If you don't want to do StreamYard, you can do Discord. But I think most people will prefer StreamYard because you can actually be on stream. Isn't Coastal Carolina ranked, David? Yeah, Coastal Carolina is ranked, right? They were like 25th, I think. Well, I know who's not going to be ranked after today. Friggin' Washington. Yeah, Ryguy, you don't have to do it through Discord. You can do it through StreamYard. We're doing it both ways today. All right. All right. So I'm going to give Ryguy 1 second here, and then we're going to pull him in. All right. Ryguy, what's up, man? How you doing?
Work was, well, it was okay. I mean, I'm not too happy I have to work tomorrow during the Seahawks game, but I mean,
that's never fun. That's never fun working during a game. But yeah. So I mean, there's not necessarily much to working at a Dollar Tree every day is kind of the same as the last day.
Yeah, same similar to demographic. Old people.
But so
some dude bought 25 balloons and nothing else today.
Well, maybe he's got a birthday party to go to. So
yeah, and he also had this is in Oregon. He had Confederate stuff all over him.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I can appreciate that. But so this is Ryguy 1218. For those of you guys who do not know who Ryan Martin is by name, he's one of my moderators on the YouTube and the Discord. So how are you? How are you feeling about this game tomorrow, man?
I mean, I think if Danny Dimes played, then, well, I mean, it would probably be 23-17 us. But now that he's not playing, I think that we should be able to run away with this one. I mean, the Giants have a good defense, but I mean, we still have the type of offense that could destroy any other defense.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it before. This Giants defense is solid. They're built well. I like this defense. And we have real problems on the offensive line right now because Shell's probably not going to play. Lewis may not play. And Brown and Upati are both very old, and that's not great. That's not great for us.
And the Giants are similar to the Bears. They always seem to have a good defense.
Yeah, but I feel good about this game. I'm not too worried about it. I just can't believe we're going to lose to Colt McCoy. I think we could play a close game and maybe be annoyed after a game with Colt McCoy.
Oh, good, man? Sorry, just the mic was just acting up.
Yeah, you're good. But yeah.
Oregon had 77 penalties in the first half.
Really?
And somehow they're up 17-14. Thank God.
Yeah, obviously today is college football Saturday, so I'm sure a lot of people, I see some people in stream talking about college football stuff. Today's not a good day for me, but it's okay.
Today is irritating, even if the Ducks had bullshit a win.
Yeah.
Because California is not that good this year. And Justin Wilcox is an Oregon boy, so he coaches hard against us.
Yeah. But wait, who's Oregon playing, by the way?
Cal?
Okay.
Down in Berkeley.
Okay. Well,
I have my opinions of that town, even though I had a teammate that was a deferred walk-on down there.
Yeah. So we got 5 games left this season, and
I think
how do you feel about this team? How do you feel about this Seahawks team going into
the only game that I'm legit scared of is the Rams because Sean McVay is like half the age of Pete Carroll, yet is somehow his biological father.
Yeah, it is a problem. It is a real concern. I feel like with all these soft games we have coming up in the last 6 games of the year, 5 of our last 6 games are against teams that are probably going to be under 500.
Yeah,
if you can't find a way to win that one game that you really need to win against a good team, that one game out of 6 that is actually against a really good team, then you're just not that good. So
if the Niners end up like they're down and out of it, I don't think they're going to activate Kittle or Jimmy G because why would they? I mean,
yeah, that's true too.
It would probably screw up next season for them because, well, it would be going right into,
Right.
And that game might be in Arizona too.
Yeah, I feel like Arizona's season is going to be over in the coming weeks because they still got to play the Rams twice. They got to play
Oregon just
the Niners.
Dumbass interception.
Oh, really? Yeah, they still got to play the Niners. They still got to play the Rams twice, and I think they have to play the Giants. And the Giants are not a trash team with Daniel Jones, so
Oh wait, no.
there are losses in there.
Hold up. It's actually second down
Mm-hmm.
because it touched the ground somehow.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I thought the Oregon game was actually at halftime.
it just started up again, and
Mhm.
well, apparently they're playing it down in the Bay
Hmm.
because I think it's in the well.
But yeah, it's not a good year for the Pac-12, that's for sure. We don't have
Yeah,
any
and I
really
don't-
good teams.
I mean, winning the Rose Bowl last year was nice, but I mean, they easily could have gone undefeated if they didn't choke against Auburn and Arizona State.
Mm-hmm. If Oregon loses, and does USC play this week?
USC plays tomorrow against the Cougars.
So if USC loses, there will be no Pac-12 teams in the top 25 for sure.
Yep. Well, and even then, the Trojans are just. It's just.
Yeah, I don't think the Trojans are very good either, but they will be ranked if they win.
Yep, and I think everyone on the Pac-12 wants SC to win for obvious reasons.
Well, we're obviously not going to have a playoff team this year, but we may very well have a. I guess we could have at least one team make a Big Six bowl game. Maybe. I don't know. It's not a good year to be a Pac-12 fan unless you hate the other teams more than you like your own team.
Yep. And it's mostly what's going on. Yeah. There are some characters you meet in retail.
Yeah. So back to the Seahawks real quick, Ryguy. You've been worried about the game against the football team for a while now.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
Still kind of worried because I mean they have the type of blue chip talent that could beat anyone when they feel like it, and we all know it's and I'm scared of that field in Washington. That the playoff game, it looked like a patch of dirt back in 2012.
I mean, it basically may as well be.
And
I mean, we would have won against Atlanta, in my opinion, if Chris Clemens didn't tear his ACL. So
and
that's what I believe.
I mean, and then basically, it's just that field is horrible.
My concern with Washington, main thing with Washington for me, they have a quarterback now that isn't going to turn the ball over a lot.
Yep.
I wanted to play Haskins or Kyle Allen. Those guys will turn the ball over. Alex Smith is pretty good at not turning it over.
We saw Kyle Allen turn it over a bunch last year.
Yeah, exactly.
In Carolina.
Okay, real quick, I want to address this comment. Nicholas, yes, join the on-stream Discord channel, and I'll try to pull you into the Discord where I am going to be doing the...
And admittedly, the reason why I even said UW had a horseshoe is because I was driving home. I was going home.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. Also, if I watch games during work, my manager will get really pissed.
Oh, yeah. I know a story. There's a story I read once. Well, not read, but was told on YouTube. There was this one guy who got fired from the same job twice, and he worked in retail. So he got 3 strikes. He got fired. And then a few months later, he got rehired by the same job. And then he got another 3 strikes. So he got fired from the same job twice.
It's really hard to get fired from Dollar Tree. You have to screw up really bad. I'm sure. Like show up drunk, high, whatever.
Yes, Nicholas. But yeah. So I'm glad you're making money, I guess. I mean, I can't say it's the greatest job in the world, but it's a start.
But during COVID, basically any job would work. Even borderline indentured servitude. Exactly.
You take what you can get. All right. So we're going to have another person coming into the stream shortly via Discord. So this I have never done before. So we're going to have to do a little bit of testing. But Nicholas, who's been a watcher of my channel for a little while now, he's been in the he's done this before. And Yeah, he will be coming in to join us shortly, but you're going to have to bear with me while I do some beta testing on what will actually work here and what won't. I do have some new hardware, and we're using some new software today as well. But yeah, Ryguy. I mean, at this point, I don't know if I can ever root for Oregon, but we could use one good team in this conference to go into next year. So I don't think it's USC, so it's got to be somebody. And I know it's not us after today either, believe me.
I don't even think it's Oregon right now.
I mean, yeah, admittedly, I don't think Oregon is that good. They haven't really looked great in any game they played this year, except maybe Stanford.
The frustrating thing is they have enough talent to beat anyone.
Yeah, they have talent. They got talent all over the place.
But they just keep screwing themselves. This is why you don't lose to Oregon State, kids.
It's been a long time since the Huskies lost to their in-state rival. I can say that.
Yeah, Oregon lost once in 2016, but that was a year that we knew that we were firing Helfrich. The problem with him was he's a nice guy, but you kind of have to have. You can't be a nice guy in terms of college recruiting.
All right, so let's see how this works here. 1 second.
Like Nick Saban's not nice.
Let's see here. Okay, Nicholas, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, okay, so stream, how is Nicholas's volume? Since we're doing this from Discord for the first time ever, how can you hear? All right, so Nicholas, welcome to the 2,000 subscriber special.
Congratulations, man. That's a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to get here because I was making videos with very few subscribers for several years. I was just doing it kind of for fun. I didn't expect it to take off, but it really has. So how are you doing tonight, Nicholas?
I'm doing okay. Getting frustrated with Virginia Tech coaches who are really throwing away a chance against Clemson.
Virginia Tech?
So it's nice.
Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of college football other than the Huskies game today.
Everything okay?
Yeah, everything's okay. I did see the Oklahoma game start, but I turned it off. I'm not watching
on my end.
It's staticky on your end? Is anybody else experiencing that in the chat? Let me know. Okay, so anyway, so Nicholas, we got this Giants game tomorrow. How are you feeling about it right now?
I'm feeling great considering Danny Dumbass is out.
Well, you know, would Daniel Jones have turned the ball over more than Colt McCoy will? That's my question, because Daniel Jones may be a better QB than Colt McCoy, but he also turns it over a lot.
We don't need turnovers. We just need the offense to play good and the defense to continue. Turnovers is a crutch, I think, somewhat.
It often is, but it's a crutch that we do often need, unfortunately. I mean, I hate to say it, but this Seahawks team struggles to get stopped sometimes, so taking the ball away is sometimes the only thing they can do. But,
yeah, but I don't think that's how it's going to turn out against the Giants. I think it's going to go so much to the Dolphins game.
That's actually not a bad comparison. I would be okay with that. Thank you, DM. So, Nicholas, I know you're a Seahawks fan from Georgia, right?
Yeah.
You've always been in Georgia.
Yes, I have lived in Georgia my entire life.
So how did that come about? I mean, I know nobody wants to be a Falcons fan. If I was a Falcons fan, I would have stopped a long time ago, but how did that come to be?
Most of the fans here have given up. Basically, my dad went to NC State for a while, and he saw Russell Wilson, and I sort of saw I sort of bandwagoned onto the Seahawks when I saw Russell Wilson go there. Pretty excited to see him go there.
That's not bad.
And it just sort of bandwagoned on, even though I was really young, and because I really like Russ, and I saw him a bit in college.
That's not a bad story. I can go for that. I can go for that.
Yeah.
It's got similar thing is in the Eugene area where U of O was. A lot of them have become Chargers fans because of Herbert.
That makes sense.
And I mean, I honestly don't think that franchise deserves him.
It's not much of a franchise, but somebody's got to be the loser team, I guess. It was the Cubs for a long time, and now it's not.
Now it's the Indians.
Yeah. So, Nicholas, I know you're a big fan of Rashad Penny, and you've been talking about him coming back recently a lot. So it sounds like he's going to practice this upcoming week and possibly get back on the field for the last few games. What do you think he adds to this offense?
Just a bit of speed. All of our running backs, they struggle to get on the outside. They struggle to, provide that lateral movement. That's something we've been missing. DK, despite how good he is, he only does the one thing where he just sort of drives it straight up the field, and Lockett's good, but his best ability is doing the route running thing, where he just sort of finds a soft spot in the zone. So he's really filling a void there, I think. In the lateral movement, you're doing some screen passes, doing some screens maybe. Something we've been missing. And I think he provides the speed and the explosiveness we need for that sort of a game.
Yeah. My only concern with that, because I do think Penny is a good player in his own way, my concern, I don't think Schottenheimer and Carroll like the home run running back. I think they like a running back who's going to get 4 to 6 yards every carry. They just want to go 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards. Sometimes it doesn't feel like they like the home runs that much, which annoys me.
The trouble is it's more often 2 yards than 5.
Or you get the Eagles game where it's usually like -1 yard.
Yeah.
And
You gonna say something, Ryan?
well, and we needed. Oh no, you talk, man.
Okay. So yeah, but Penny is kind of in an interesting spot because it's possible that he ends up being the full-time running back next year, and I'm skeptical of that because I just don't think he fits our running scheme that well. But it is possible that Penny gets like 300 carries next year.
Okay, and this is one thing that highlights to me what I think is the disconnect between the front office and the coaching staff. What the front office is doing, I have no idea. They're just sort of randomly doing whatever. The GM is just picking players that Carroll either can't develop or won't use. That's worrying to me.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a thing.
And we spent significant draft capital on Penny, a first-round pick.
Oh yeah, we used a golden pick on him, but when we did the Metcalf draft class, I remember thinking, and I had people in the chat who kind of agreed with me when we were theorizing on this. There were people that we drafted who Carroll liked, and people that we drafted who Schneider liked, and there wasn't a lot of intersection between those two things. Like Pete liked Metcalf, a lot of people thought Schneider didn't. Blair was a Schneider pick, and a lot of people thought Carroll didn't really like him. And that's why, even though we drafted him, he took a long time to actually get on the field. TNA, we probably go for a couple hours.
And that's a problem. We need to be on the same page. I don't care if your GM is Dave Gettleman and Krusty the Clown.
Yeah.
We need to know.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like, we spend the second-round pick on Marquise Blair, and Tedrick is out there just sucking last year, right? He's terrible. He can't do anything. So we decide, okay, we're going to keep Tedrick out there until Tedrick got hurt. Then I'm like, okay, we're going to put Blair in now, right? And then no, we put in Delano Hill. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe Delano Hill's better than Blair right now. And then Delano Hill is terrible. And I'm like, what's going on? So yeah, I definitely get that feeling, Nicholas. I feel like the front office wants one kind of player and the head coach wants a different kind of player.
Yeah, especially going to the next draft, we're not going to have that many good picks. And there's a few different places. We got corner that we want to improve dramatically. We got the offensive line, which needs to be shaped up a bit. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see which way they pull and which way they go with that. I'm not very optimistic.
Yeah. We're probably going to have to spend a little bit of free agency money. I know we're not going to have a ton of money, but you might want to bring in a left tackle that is pretty good. You don't want to get somebody who you don't know if he's going to be good or not, and then you end up having some guy who isn't any good as a rookie and your QB's getting killed. You can't afford that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay. The problem with the free agent,
like the left tackle is probably
don't want to pay Carson that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the front office probably likes him, and Pete probably likes him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to get a contract, I think. And that's going to be a whole lot of the money that we could spend on improving that corner or getting a blue chip guy on the offensive line.
Right.
I
Well,
think I
I've
would
said many
rather.
times, I think Dwayne Brown will retire. So that'll free up money.
And I think that, like, when it comes to Carson, I think the most I think we should do is maybe just tag him for a year.
Tag is so expensive, though. I mean, that's a lot of. I know it's a short-term deal, but that's a lot of money for a dude who has not played a full season in, I think, all the way back to his junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's the reason why he was a 7th-round pick instead of a 3rd-round pick. Even.
Maybe. What does Carson want?
Well, I am actually starting to do a little bit of research into that question to see what Carson might reasonably be able to ask for. And I think the answer is somewhere between Austin Eckler and Joe Mixon. If you look at those two guys, they have a lot in common with Carson. Joe Mixon is certainly on the higher end because he's been a little healthier. He's had a little more production. He's a blue chipper and Carson isn't, etc. But Joe Mixon and Chris Carson have had very similar production so far in their careers. And then you have Austin Eckler, who has had somewhat similar production to Chris Carson, but he's more of a scat back. He's more of a pass catching back. So I feel like the answer is going to be somewhere between the contract Eckler got, which was like $6 million a year, and then Joe Mixon, who got, I think, $11 million a year. It kind of just depends on how you feel about those guys compared to Carson.
Yeah. Even that, like the Bengals giving Mixon 11 mil is just.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have done it.
Again, I know that.
I would not have done it, but
especially given
why would
they're a poverty franchise,
running back that's going to tire himself out like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what's happened.
Saquon.
That's what happened. And, you know, I'm not the biggest Saquon Barkley fan, but look at all the abuse he took running the ball for a team that never won anything. And now his career might be halfway done already.
He deserves better.
And
he deserves to actually pitch in his talents with somebody who's going to use him.
Mm-hmm. I do think on the right team,
I think
Saquon.
that the Giants is where he wanted to be.
I mean, a lot of players think they want to go to New York, and then they find out, I don't actually like it here as much as I thought I would.
Have you ever been to New York?
Yeah,
I can see why you want to leave.
I have never been to New York.
My mom's family,
literally piling up on the sides of the street.
My mom is from New York.
Yeah, I haven't been. Yeah, I have not been outside this state very much, so I don't know. But I think a lot of athletes want the big market. They think they can leverage being in a big market into success off the field, which is why Shaq went to LA, which is, I mean, it's kind of weird when you get the opposite and you get an OBJ going from New York to Cleveland, and he seems okay with that.
Well, Saquon, that seems to have been the right choice for Saquon because I have seen him on quite a few different endorsements and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully
Saquon getting all of these endorsements is kind of annoying.
Yeah, I'm not
giving my opinions on him.
Yeah. But yeah, I have been doing a little bit of research into the Chris Carson question, trying to figure out what he can ask for. The thing to remember, and this is important, the cap is going down because of the COVID stuff. So these players might ask for more, but they're not going to be able to get more. There's not going to be enough money to go around.
And I think that Carson might overvalue himself.
Yeah, I don't want to sign to a very long-term deal because we're going to have to extend Metcalf soon and any big expensive extension. And then we're going to have Metcalf eating into that as well pretty soon here. I don't want to see it for like that many years because or else we're going to like a whole half the budget is just going to be Carson, Metcalf, and Wilson.
Right. I mean,
and Jamal Adams, he's also going to cut into it.
Right. So, you know, you're kind of trying to plan ahead when you're planning this, planning things out. Like, oh, Rip, thank you for the $2. How you doing? I am doing pretty good tonight, Rip. Thank you for the super chat. Wish the Huskies had won, but so be it. You can't get everything you want sometimes. But yeah, like I think KJ Wright is either going to be gone or playing for a lot less money this offseason. So that's a lot of money you save. You're going from 10 million to KJ to either nothing to KJ or a few million to KJ. I think Dwayne Brown will retire. I think Mike Upati retires. I think that we know Greg Olsen will retire for sure. It is also conceivable that we cut Jerron Reed. So there is money that's going to come out of a few places. We might move on from Bobby. It's not inconceivable. So there will be money, and teams know how to get around the cap.
I don't know if KJ Wright leaving would be a good thing exactly. I would really like to see him sticking around.
Yeah, but even if he sticks around, it won't be for 10 million, which is what he's making this year.
Yeah. Because without him, like, he's blowing up other teams' screen games. He has like a nose for that kind of. He has a nose for that, and like having that sort of veteran experience around.
My issue, and I've kind of gone all through this in other videos, is why you can't have too many resources into linebacker, because linebacker isn't even that important of a position anymore. We have all this money into Bobby. We used high draft picks on Brooks, used decent draft picks on Barton and BBK. And then if you're giving money to KJ, it's like, why do you have this investment into 5 linebackers in a 4-3 defense? So my question,
if this were a 3-4 defense, Jordan Brooks must rush the passer, and we don't do that with Jordan Brooks.
Yeah. If we were a 3-4 and Jordan Brooks was TJ Watt, then I would totally understand that. You want those guys to be your best players, but in a 4-3, you're usually only going to have 2 linebackers on the field at a time because you're usually in nickel, and B, the linebackers are not having a big impact on the game. Now, I agree with what you're saying, Nicholas. KJ's played well this season, but if he parlays playing well into like some fat extension from the Seahawks, then I'm not going to like that. Yeah.
Further compounding that issue is how half the time Jamal Adams is basically being a blitzing linebacker.
Yeah, that is true.
Up close to the line. That's just compounding issue after issue at that spot.
Yeah.
And I think that might be more coaching, because Jamal didn't struggle with coverage in New York.
No, not at all. He was one of the best coverage safeties in the league in New York, and that's what drives me nuts. We traded all this stuff for this one dude, and we didn't understand fully how we were going to use him.
This is another piece of evidence that the front office and the coaching staff, they're not on the same page. This is Jamal Adams.
We need to hire that scumbag Greg Williams.
Well, Greg Williams has his own set of problems. Real quick from the comments, David M says, for what it's worth, Dwayne Brown said in late May, he's not thinking about retirement. That's good, but the fact that he shows up on the injury report with a knee injury every single week tells me his knee is about to break down. And, why would you want to play in the NFL until you're a cripple when you don't have to, Why would you want that? Like, I remember, you guys might be too young to remember this. I remember the final year of Walter Jones when he went from best left tackle in the league to worst left tackle in the league, like in 1 year. 1 year he was done. And it was depressing. I remember a Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys where DeMarcus Ware destroyed him single-handedly. And it was just sad to watch. I don't want to see that happen.
2009, right?
What?
2009, right?
2008. Oh, wait.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, people in the By the way, people in the chat, I'm posting the link to the StreamYard. You can click on that link and you can come onto the stream with me and with Ryguy, with Nicholas, and you can call in and ask questions and talk about Seahawks stuff. You can do it audio only or audio video. It's up to you, but that link is how you get into the streams.
Talk about whatever you want. We're going to run out of topics here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. But the Jamal Adams basically being a linebacker is a thing, but again, he was maybe the best coverage linebacker in football in New York. So I'm not really thinking he suddenly forgot how to cover.
No, certainly not. I just think it's a disconnect.
Covering at LSU too.
And coach.
And
in that situation. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Pete Carroll really likes him, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. We should not have done the trade if we knew our defense was going to be this bad, even with him. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's not. He's a great player. Okay, I see somebody in the queue for the stream. He. But you need to declare yourself in the chat so I know who you are, because people like to mess with me sometimes by coming into my streams like this, and then they play porn on video. So declare yourself in chat, and I'll let you in.
Not even good porn.
Just throw the front office a bone though. The Carlos Dunlap move.
Oh yeah,
looks brilliant.
Dunlap is awesome.
Masterminds right now.
Yeah, for that. I mean, I made a video about this a couple weeks ago. When the front office tries a little trade or a little move, it's worked great. Like Brandon Shell has been great. We're barely paying him anything, and he's been a solid, effective right tackle. The David Moore re-signing has been good. Even though he didn't play well against Philadelphia, he's been worth many times more than the money we gave him. But the harder we swing...
I wonder how good the Jadeveon trade was.
Yeah, that was
evil genius.
Oh, yeah. And I know some people are kind of down on Clowney because, you know, we didn't go that far last year and he was only here 1 year. But yeah, that was a great trade too. But like the Jamal Adams thing, we gave up a lot.
Thanks, Bill O'Brien.
And I don't want to say we always do bad on the
Bill
big
O'Brien
trades.
alive is not that hard.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yes. Remember, we got Dwayne Brown out of Bill O'Brien as well. Yeah, Dwayne. I think, Bill O'Brien was the coach when they traded Dwayne Brown to us. I'm pretty sure. So
Who would be better, Bill O'Brien or this frog?
Well, you know, I mean, the frog wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, he's inanimate.
So he's got to be better than Bill O'Brien because, you know, if you do nothing, you're not going to trade DeAndre Hopkins for a washed-up running back.
Honestly, sometimes doing nothing would be better than what's even John Schneider's done.
Sometimes, not always. Like I said, a lot of his moves were good, but the big moves were bad. We gave $7 million to Greg Olsen and never threw him the ball, and then he broke his foot. Or what was it? Ligament damage.
Yeah, he only got one touchdown a garbage time touchdown in week 1, really.
Yeah. Not good.
That's $7 million that we could have spent trying to pursue Clowney.
Down the toilet.
Clowney could have used that $7 million on a. I know I said Shell is good, and he is, but Shell is not as good as maybe somebody like a Brian Bulaga would have been. All right, so we've got another person trying to come in here, Robert Henry. I know who this guy is. Ryguy, I'm going to let you go for a little bit to bring in this guy. Thank you for calling in, my man.
Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Have a good day.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to bring in Robert Henry to the stream. Robert Henry, I've seen you in my streams for a while. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Brendan?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you, man. So what brings you here tonight?
Well, man, I just want to congratulate you, man, and I also want to say, man, you're straight up Seahawks. That's what I like about you. You tell it like it is, man.
Yeah, I try. I appreciate that. Man. But yeah, I've seen you in my streams. I've seen you making comments on videos for a while now. So you've been here for a little bit. So tomorrow we got this Seahawks Giants game. How you feeling?
Man, I think we could win 2 in a row. You know, and both these New York teams aren't good. I mean, we can't take them for granted. But, you know, Giants, you know, not that great. But I think we could do it. I think we could rush the passer, even though Carlos ain't there. And I think Russ could do his thing against him.
Yeah. I mean, the as much as we make fun of Dave Gettleman for many valid reasons, he has put together a nice defense in New York this year. They picked up Bradbury, he's been great. They picked up Blake Martinez, he's been great. They traded for Leonard Williams, he's good too. So yeah, they've done some good stuff on defense in New York, but it's tough for me to believe that Colt McCoy is gonna put up enough points to beat this Seahawks team. So I say like 23-10, something like that. That's kind of what I'm feeling.
I'm thinking 30-something to 10, but you know. You never know, because especially the game against Philly, I thought it was going to be more, but, you know, didn't happen.
Offensive line didn't let it happen, I think.
Yeah. I'm hoping they'll play better. I mean, you know the deal with Cedric O, you know, like you say, you know. But I think we could afford to rest Shell a little bit more.
Yeah. We definitely need Shell for the playoffs, and this last game has exposed exactly how badly that is the case. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, real quick from the comments, David M says Carroll says Carson and Hyde are playing, so we will have our running backs tomorrow. So that's
good. We need them.
This should really be a game that's a bounce back for the run game. If it's not, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah. Well, I've theorized that Upati is basically held together by duct tape.
Yeah.
So he may be breaking down near the end of the season. So maybe you just want to sit him for 5 games, bring him back for the playoffs, and check him then. And if he's not good to go, you just tell him to go retire. But that dude has never been healthy in his career, and he's really not healthy now that he's an old man.
I know. What's about Simmons? Isn't he supposed to be back? Or
yeah, I think Simmons is ready to play now. The thing with Simmons is that he's a good pass blocker, not so good a run blocker. He's actually a better pass blocker than Upati is, but he's not nearly the run blocker. So we lose a little something if we put Simmons out there, but we also gain something. So I would like to see Simmons out there ASAP and let Upati rest because his body is just breaking down, man.
Oh yeah, he needs to retire. Him and Olsen.
Yeah, Olsen we know is going to retire. I suspect Dwayne Brown will retire, but we don't know yet. Yeah.
But Olsen should save the $7 million next year. So if he retires, because it was a 2-year deal, right?
Yeah. No, Greg Olsen.
How much do we pay to Hollister?
Hollister's making like $3.5 million this year, which is not great either.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick from the comments, the Line Bros. Big Mike didn't allow a sack last game, though. Yeah, that's true. But you have to remember, we only allowed 2 sacks the whole game, period, because Wilson was able to make people miss and get the ball out quickly. That doesn't mean he played well. I really don't think he did.
One thing that I did like from them was that when they were running it, and they were letting the play clock drain all the way down. That game was short.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, like I said in my video, when there were like 6 minutes left in that game, and we were just running the ball on every play, normally I would hate that kind of stuff, but I actually liked it because I wanted that game to be over. I was just like, hurry up and get this game over with before somebody gets hurt behind this stupid offensive line. So it was a rare case where it was 3rd and 14, and I was like, okay, keep on the ball. Just let this game be over with. But yeah, so Robert, we got 5 games left. Oh, okay. He just disconnected. Okay, so anyway, all right, so we're down to.
Do you want to? Can I ask a question to chat? Maybe?
All right, sure, go ahead.
Can we get what's the record? What are people thinking for the record right now?
Yeah, chat, reply with your predictions for the record. Okay, we're back. All right, Robert, you're back. There we go, man.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess I don't know if it was my end or what.
Yeah, but we're good now. But yeah, so we got 5 games left. 4 of them look like they're pretty soft. How are you feeling about the team? What do you need to see over the next 5 games in order to feel good going into the playoffs?
Well, man. Well, like I said, our defense got to keep playing like it is. That's what wins championships, defense. And, we still need Russ, DK to do his thing. We need to stay healthy because, I know you talk about this a lot, and I agree, maybe we should have fired our strength coach because when we have these injuries pile up last year, what costed us. So,
yeah,
we just need to stay healthy and, offensive line, they got to play better too. You got to protect Russ. You can't be doing them. That's what costed us against Buffalo and the Rams, them turnovers.
Absolutely.
We really need to see.
Oh, go ahead.
The same corner performance from the Eagles game. That was like night and day compared to the Bills game. Or night and day compared to every other game that we've seen from the corners. If they can play like that for the rest of the season, I will not demand they be fired.
Yeah, I'm really keeping an eye on the Dunbar situation. All right, Robert's having some technical difficulties. I'm going to bring on another person. We're going to bring on Kyle Ford. Kyle, you're on, buddy. How you doing? You have a very nice ceiling. A lot of workmanship went into making that ceiling. Kyle? I'm worried that he called in right before his house got broken into or something, and he's currently fighting. Okay, Kyle, let me know when you get that sorted. I'll let you back in. Okay. Okay. Hey, Robert. Yeah. You
All
good,
right,
boy?
I'm back, man. I don't know what's going on.
All right. Yeah, probably just some internet issue. But yeah, Kyle is fighting off burglar right now or something. So
Oh man, hope nothing bad happens.
I don't know, but okay. He left the room for a minute. Now he's back. I'll get him back in here in 1 minute. But yeah, Robert. So I feel like, and I said this before, if you've got these basically your last 6 games, 5 of the teams are pretty soft. You better, as a coaching staff, as a team, do something special to make sure you win that one game that's actually really going to be tough, the Rams game, because that's the main game you have to think about for the next several weeks. So figure something out that you can do special in that game to give your team an advantage.
I believe we could win out. Believe it or not, I may be jumping the gun, but I think we could win out. For some reason, maybe we could get a home field, and and people got to come to the new Lumen Field now.
Yeah, absolutely. Undefeated this year so far, even though we didn't deserve to beat the Vikings, we did. So I'll take it.
I know. We cashed in on their mistakes.
The Rams, they moved to help out BK against Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah,
he's having a really tough time. They need to, I don't know, extra prep for him for Jalen because a big nothing burger is not made from our best wide receiver.
Yeah, and I was listening to Hawk Blogger after that game, and one thing he said was that sometimes Wilson just gets it in his head that he cannot go after a certain elite cornerback. Like he did this in the Super Bowl when he never looked at Doug Baldwin when Doug Baldwin was matched up on Darrelle Revis. And he says, like, sometimes he just feels like, okay, they have the best corner in the league. I'm not even going to try him. And that's not the right way to think about these things, man. Sometimes you got to go at the best.
If you want to beat the best, you got to beat the best.
Yeah. The one thing I'm really looking forward to is Dunbar is supposed to be back soon, and Robert's disconnected again. But anyway, Dunbar is supposed to be back soon, and if he's healthy, I think he's a good player. All right, I'm going to bring Kyle into the stream real quick. Kyle, you're on, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man?
I'm doing good, man. So Kyle Ford, I've seen him in my videos before, my streams before. So you doing good to this night, man?
Oh, dude, I'm hyped for tomorrow. I'm so ready. I just got a bunch of new recording equipment, so I can start up my little channel.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, it's a fun thing when you actually start putting some time and effort into the equipment acquiring and trying to make things sound right and look right. I'm still not all the way there. I need to do better lighting, which I'm going to be doing soon. But welcome to the channel, buddy. So you feel good about tomorrow?
That defense on the Giants, it looks tough, but that offense it's not really like scaring me at all, especially with Colt McCoy. I'm not sleeping on him though, because if you sleep on a team, they will get at you. So
yeah. I mean, we as fans can sleep on teams. The team better not. The team
exactly.
better not sleep on anybody.
So how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. The Huskies did not come through for me, but so be it. It's a weird college football season anyway.
Hey, what are your thoughts on Josh Gordon coming back, man? I'm so happy.
I think that's significant as all get out, because one thing this offense is not good at is converting on third down. And if you remember, Josh Gordon's biggest impact last year was as a third down receiver against the 49ers.
He's a possession guy, right?
Yeah.
Now.
Exactly.
Remember, he beat Sherman, I think, twice on third down to keep that game alive against the
I was going to talk about that too. So
yeah.
His hands are like no one else's in the league. So like with DK, he can go up in there and he can get that ball, on 50-50 balls. He's a monster. But like his hands are a little bit questionable. But with Josh Gordon, there is no question. He will catch the ball if his hands touch the ball. So like, I don't know if you remember the Carolina game when Rush just chucked it up there 50 yards. It was at the end of his fingertips and he still caught it. That's crazy.
All right, real quick, one comment we just got. Washi, calling in through Discord is simple. Just go into the voice channel that says on stream, and then I will drag you into the throne room with me where you can actually be on stream. Okay, so yeah, Kyle. So Josh Gordon, it looks like we're going to get him back for the Rams game. So when he gets back, when he gets back, do you think he immediately becomes the third receiver, or does David Moore stay as the third receiver?
I think David Moore stays a third receiver, and then they work him in. Because I don't know if you listen to a lot of the post conferences and stuff like that, or press conferences. But Shoddy, he said that we got to get him up to date with a bunch of our plays and stuff. He hasn't been in our system for a minute. It's been over a year in football, which is, I think it's absurd that they kept him out that long. Like what's going on with Antonio Brown. But so.
Okay, so Washi looks like he's about ready to come back on. Nicholas, can I let you go for a little bit so I can keep it to 3 people at a time?
Go ahead.
All right, thank you for coming on with me tonight, Nicholas.
Let me plug the Discord real quick.
Right.
Everyone in chat, join the Discord. It's not that hard.
Thank you. All right. Let's see here.
See ya.
All right. See ya. Okay, I'm going to post the link to Streamlabs one more time, by the way, because we have a lot of people in stream right now. So I'm going to go ahead and post that link one more time. And Washi, you are now in the throne room with me in Discord. So how you doing tonight? Good to have you on, man. So this is Washi's voice right now. He's a mod in my Discord server, and he's a longtime commenter and member on my channel. So Washi, how you feeling? How you feeling about tomorrow? Okay, I think he's having some technical difficulties with the microphone. I'll give him 1 second. So
no, wait.
Okay.
So basically, I just had the YouTube stream going on, so like the voice was echoing. So I was a YouTube stream.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah.
So anyway, the question that I had for you, Washi, is how you feeling about this game tomorrow, Giants?
So I've been watching like some Giant content creator streams, and they really think that we can win, and they're like hella optimistic about it. But I don't know. I think there are more ways that we can blow them out, but like I think that we'll probably keep it close. Defense, I don't know. I just think that their offense isn't good enough, so I don't really think that they can score on us. And I don't know. I'm not feeling confident with our offense, so I think it'll kind of be like the Eagles game, low scoring. We'll keep them to I think like under 10 points, hopefully.
That seems pretty reasonable to me. I could go for that. I'm a little concerned. Like I said, we don't need turnovers to stop this Giants offense because there's really nothing that's good about this Giants offense right now. I don't think nothing. I don't like anything about them except maybe their running attack right now is okay, but it's not great. Their receivers are pretty below average. Evan Engram puts up big numbers sometimes, but he's a So I feel good about this game, but I am concerned about maybe we can't force any turnovers. So, all right, Kyle, I'm going to go back to you real quick. I see you've got the light rings, which is something that I'm probably going to need to invest in soon, or something.
If you go to Walmart, I don't know if you have a Walmart near you, but they have it. It's only like $35, so it's super easy to set up. Sorry.
Yeah.
But what's the Giants' corners names again?
Oh, the main corner is James Bradbury, who's been excellent this year.
All right, James Bradbury. So going back to that Eagles game with Darius Slay, I've been watching some Giants videos. They really think that James Bradbury can stop DK Metcalf. What do you think of that?
Well, when it comes to elite receiver versus elite cornerback, the receiver pretty much always wins if you're one-on-one. And that goes back to even the old days before the rules were changed to favor wide receivers. So my first thought is there's no way James Bradbury will be able to shut down DK Metcalf one-on-one.
Right.
Now, if I were the Giants, what I would do is use my second corner on Metcalf and then double team him with a safety and then use Bradbury on Lockett. I don't think that's going to happen.
So I don't know, like in this one game with Calvin Johnson, they put two corners on the line of scrimmage on Calvin Johnson. Do you think a team will ever do that to DK Metcalf?
I think we are getting there. I actually have one kind of story because I'm a little older again. The NFC title game, 2005, Seahawks versus Panthers. The week before, the Panthers played the Bears, and the Bears famously, who had the best defense in the league that year, they famously decided we're just going to play our standard cover 2 defense against Steve Smith. even though he was their only good receiver and really their only good player on offense. They were just like, okay, we're just going to play straight up on him. We can take him out. And Steve Smith killed him, and the Panthers won that game. So when we played Carolina, knowing that Steve Smith was their only good player, we put 3 people on him at the line of scrimmage. We were like, we're not messing around. We are not going to let this guy beat us. We literally had sometimes 4 people lined up where Steve Smith was. We just were not going to let him get that ball. And it worked great. We blew him out. We won that game by 20 points. So, yeah, I think that there will come a day where a team decides to do something like that. But the nice thing is we do have a really good quarterback who knows how to get the ball to other players when DK is covered. We do have other good receivers like Lockett right now. But if the day ever comes when our receivers are DK Metcalf and nobody else, we may have a problem.
Now, do you think if the time comes, do you think we'll choose DK over Tyler?
Oh, that's a no-brainer. That's like asking us. You might as well ask us to choose between like Chris Carson and DJ Dallas. There's no comparison there.
What about Chris Carson or Carlos Hyde?
Oh, well, yeah. Carlos Hyde's probably close to the end of his career, but I'm not super high on either having much longer of a career. So the thing is, Lockett is a good receiver, but there are receivers like him in every draft. DK might be generational. We don't know for sure, but DK may be generational. That's like choosing between, I don't know, Antonio Brown and, I don't know, Tyler Boyd or something like that. Lockett's a little better than Tyler Boyd, but no, I'm not doing that. So Washi, I'm going to turn to you now real quick.
Yeah.
So the Seahawks defense is starting to turn it around. We played 10 good quarters in a row. What do you feel like is the main reason why this defense has been playing better the last 2.5 games?
Yeah. So basically, I was on YouTube earlier, and then I was watching this like Brett Goldman like film study on how bad our defense was.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he was just talking about how like it wasn't really like too much of a schematic problem, just like the players weren't disciplined and they just weren't like communicating properly. And honestly, I think that's kind of the reason, because like against like the Cowboys, there was like one like big play where I forgot what it is. I think it was CeeDee Lamb or something. He went like up the seam, and then he just didn't like run towards the seam because he was focusing on another receiver. And that was just like a miscommunication. So I think that's kind of the reason. And then also because Dunlap came in and he's producing like a bunch of pressure on the quarterback.
Right.
And Norton isn't going insane on like the dumb like zero blitzes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's mainly the reason.
I totally agree with it too, because you got to think when Carlos came in, he's only been with us for 4 games. He's already produced 4 sacks, and it's really good for our defense because like Poona Ford stepping up, LJ Collier, since he's been here, LJ has gotten 2 sacks. I think he's gotten 3 on the year. Like he's not amazing, but like for a first round pick, I expected more. So like I'm happy we got Carlos, because if our defense can keep trending in the right direction, we will win the Super Bowl, or we will make a deep playoff run. So
I agree. All right, real quick from the comments, Jack Guzio from chat says Brendan can have a shout out. All right, Jack Guzio, here's your shout out. But yeah, one thing that really aggravates me, especially this late in the season, is when players have communication issues that lead to coverage breakdowns, because we are now 3 months into the season. These players practice pretty much 3 times a week. They have games every Sunday. So they've been practicing with each other. You know, they played with each other probably over, I don't know, 50 times by this point in the season. You should not be having communication issues.
Yeah, I'm not happy with Trey Flowers either, man. He's playing off, like playing scares, you know. So I like that DJ Reed we got from off waivers. Like he's a beast. He's a beast.
Yeah. DJ Reed, he's very inconsistent, but he has done some good stuff this year for sure. Right. I don't really like having him play on the outside because he's so small. It's kind of amazing. I think he's shorter than me. Okay, real quick, I want to address this one comment. Empower code. I'll take care of that after this stream, okay? Okay, Empower. Robert, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate it, bud. Appreciate the support. As always always appreciated, man. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate having you supporting the channel as well. Yeah, Trey Flowers, I don't know if you know this, Kyle. He was put on IR earlier.
I did not.
So he's going to miss both New York teams and then Washington, and he has a chance to get back after that.
Do you think Pete will sit Carlos down for the Giants and the Jets maybe?
Well, the thing is, do you need the roster spot? Because you only have so many roster spots you can use in each game. So is he going to be like, I need to deactivate Dunlap so I can have Chad Wheeler? Because now suddenly it looks like we might need Chad Wheeler at right tackle because of Cedric O doing Cedric O things.
I don't like him.
He is my least favorite Seahawk right now. He's just,
I agree.
I cannot stand him. I hate him more than Homer, more than Flowers, more than anybody else on this team who's worth hating. But
why don't we just put Jamarco Jones at right tackle?
I would do that. And I don't even think that Jamarco Jones is a good tackle, but I would try it. I would try to see if he developed from last year.
What'd you think of Lewis, our guard, playing center?
He did the best that he could.
Right, we didn't have enough.
He could. He gutted it out, man. It wasn't great, but he tried his hardest. That's all you can ask for.
Right.
I mean, we did this thing with Posick the last 3 years. I'm sorry?
He was a rookie. He's a rookie too, so it's not like he's been doing that position for like ever. You know, he was a guard, so or left guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a right guard.
Right.
But we did this with Posick. We drafted him as a center, and then we said, okay, you're going to play guard for your first 3 years here. You're going to play guard, and he was terrible, awful. So we all thought he was a bust. No, he just needed to move back to center, and now we as a team just look really stupid because. Hey, we had this great player who could have been a Pro Bowl level player for us all these years, and we made him play out of position. It's like, I don't know if you guys like basketball or not, but LeBron's rookie year, they put him at shooting guard some, and they had him just standing in the corner shooting threes for part of that season. It's like, that's not how you use LeBron.
Shooter, he's a dunker,
Yeah.
Post, paint.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Brendan, wait, what do you think is like the major, like, I know our offensive line isn't perfect, but like what's like the hole in our offensive line? Like what specific position would you point out? I personally think it's left guard, but I'm wondering what you think.
Well, that's difficult to answer because the thing is, obviously, I think Dwayne Brown is good, but he's got knee issues, so that's something to keep an eye on. So he's not completely reliable. I think Upati's kind of the same thing. I think Upati is a good player, especially in run blocking, but he's held together by duct tape at this point. So I do think that regardless of whether or not you consider Upati to be a hole, which I don't, you do need to replace him after this year for sure. If it's Simmons, it's Simmons. If it's Phillip Haynes, it's Phillip Haynes. If it's somebody out of college, it's somebody out of college. But you got to replace Mike Upati this offseason.
And you got to replace Ken Newton-Jordan Jr. That dude, we need like Dan Quinn back up in there or something because like our defense is not looking back there.
Yeah, I suspect that he's been silently demoted to basically a cheerleader, where he's not really involved in that much of the decision making on defense or the play calling. I suspect that Carroll has taken over a lot of that. But
yeah, I mean, look at our defense. Especially against the Cardinals. Like, we got 3 sacks on Kyler. The first game, we didn't have 1 QB pressure on him.
Well, yeah, against Kyler, the second time, I think we had 17 QB pressures. In the first game, we had like 5. I actually had to go through and count, which was not fun that first game.
So how do you feel about Chris Sims taking Russ Wilson out of the top 2 and putting him in the 3?
Well, I will say this. If you're doing an MVP for this year, if you're trying to figure out who's the MVP, I do think Mahomes is 1 right now, and I do think Rodgers is 2 right now. And, it sucks, but that's what happens when you have a mediocre month of football.
Yeah, no, I can't believe it.
I think it's Rodgers number 1.
It could be Rodgers number 1, but it's those 2 guys somewhere.
Yeah, Rodgers leads the league in touchdowns right now, 31.
Yeah,
I mean 30.
I think Rodgers has to do more with less.
Mm-hmm. That's actually not unreasonable.
And I trust our defense now more than I trust the Green Bay Packers defense. Like, I really do.
Well, yeah, Green Bay's defense is not stellar. Real quick from the chat, Brandon Mikel, thank you for the $5 super chat. Congrats on 2K, big man. Go buy yourself a foot long. You deserve it. I may do that. I haven't been to Subway in a hot minute. Thank you, Brandon Mikel. Every Subway sandwich kind of tastes the same, though. There's not a ton of variety to it.
Right.
But yeah, it's almost a very weird thing now, because with the way the offensive line is playing, because they're playing some backups and because some guys are playing injured or whatever is going on up there, it's almost to the point where I'm trusting the defense more than the offense, because I have some trust issues with the offense after the Eagles game, when we saw some bad play calling and we saw some bad play, mostly from the offensive line. And a lot of people think Lockett's playing hurt. I don't know if I agree with that, but a lot of people think he's hurt. David Moore is obviously playing hurt. So we're just running out of guys we can have trust on in this offense.
Yeah, I'm not happy with them calling that fourth and goal play with David Moore. Like, that was just unreasonable. Take your points. That's 3 points we could have had, like.
Yeah, I personally loved going for it. I have no problem with going for it, but you don't tell David Moore, who's got a bad hip, to be the guy who has to carry you to the end zone. Like, if Wilson throws the ball to Metcalf and it doesn't work, then okay, those are our two best players right now. I don't care. I'm not going to get mad at you for putting the game in their hands. I am going to get mad at you for putting the game in David Moore's hands like that. So, yeah, that's kind of my feeling on that. I know a lot of people were saying we should have just kicked the field goal, but I have no problem with being aggressive on your fourth down play calls. I think that's something that our team will benefit from, but it's not the right play call. And real quick, the other fourth down we had in that game, remember later in the first quarter, the other fourth down, if you saw the routes that our receivers ran, they basically all just ran 2 yards and then turned around to try to catch a curl. It's like, can we get something a little more creative than 5 curl routes?
Right. Do you think
I didn't like the play call, but I like going for it in both the situations.
Me too.
Yeah, but I watched the press conference with Shuddy, and he also said he didn't like the goal line play call. So it's good that he's not like Pete Carroll, and he actually owns up to his mistakes.
Okay, go ahead, Kyle. You were going to say something.
You're good.
Okay, but yeah, I think there are definitely a lot of people out there who cannot help but be results oriented. Like, I saw a lot of comments on Facebook and Twitter saying, like, why would you go for it on 4th and goal? Just kick the field goal. And they're saying it after it didn't work. And okay, I understand that, but I try really hard to not be results oriented. So I'm trying to look at it as, okay, we have an elite QB, we have an elite wide receiver, we have an offense that is still one of the best offenses in the league. I know it's slowed down lately, but it's still one of the best offenses in the league. So I'm just thinking to myself, why don't we put this offense in a position to control as much of the game as possible?
I agree.
However, I will say this, in that particular game, I can see an argument for it, because we were playing an offense that is terrible. So you only need a few points to win that game. So maybe you take the points.
Well, like
this, I feel like it's like you take a risk against a bad team, and if it messes up, it won't hurt you. That's why it's better to go for it, and then failing just won't stab you in the back the way it does if you were to play like an elite team like Kansas City or something.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, either way, we win that game, I think. If we kick the field goal, we would have won. We won not kicking the field goal. And, we owe a lot of that to the Eagles being just that bad. I think that they had a stat on screen. Carson Wentz, 28% of his passes have been off target this year, which is by far the most in the league. So, yeah, you can take chances against those teams. But I would actually say if you're playing Kansas City, you definitely go for it, because a field goal is not going to do you anything against Kansas City because they score so much. So I actually think against Kansas City, you definitely go for it. Against a team like the Eagles, you consider kicking it.
Yeah, no, the Giants, they're top 5 in defense. So do you think Pete Carroll goes aggressive on offense and goes on 4th down? Do you think he trusts his defense more than he trusts the Giants offense?
I think that we are probably going to scale things back a little bit just because it hasn't worked well, which is unfortunate, because I think that the reason why those things didn't work is mostly because of the play calling or the execution, not because it was a bad idea to go for it. But, I'm thinking back to the Miami game. If you remember that Miami game, we went for a 4th and 1 and Cedric in the red zone, and Cedric gave up a sack. So we're looking at that. And then you also look at what happened against the Eagles. I think Carroll might be the kind of guy who looks at that and goes like, oh, I can't do that again. There are people, and I'm a poker player and I study poker, so I see this kind of thing in poker as well sometimes. There are people who want to be right, and then there are people who want to do the right thing, and there is a difference. I try to be the kind of person who does the right thing, but some people just want to be right, meaning they go for it, they don't get it, so they think, oh, I didn't get it. That must have been wrong. I'm not going to do that again. And then there are the people who go for it, don't get it, and go, okay, we didn't get it that time. Maybe I'll still go for it next time I think we're supposed to, and maybe we'll get it that time. But I think it's the right thing to go for it. So,
do you think it was the right Seattle to sign Pete through 2025?
No. I understand if we get to if we had gotten to this off season and not re-signed Pete Carroll, and we decided to extend him after we made it to the NFC title game or the Super Bowl or something, then okay, I get it. But because you don't want a lame duck coach, you almost never see a coach coaching out his contract year. It almost never happens. Jason Garrett did it, but it's very rare. Usually either they fire you or they decide to extend you before you get there. I understand that. But what was the point of doing it now? I mean, what's the difference? I don't know what you think is going to change because you gave him the extension now versus later.
So if you make it and we do win, is it worth it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm not a big fan of the way Carroll is doing things with this team right now, but it's not a personal problem. It's because I don't think he's putting this team in the best situation to win. But if we win with him, then I'm certainly willing to live with that.
Do you also more like one of the keys to win is to let Chris Carson run a little bit more than 10 carries?
Well, yeah, I think the carries limit was because he was coming back from an injury and we were being careful. I got no problem with that. I do think we need a little bit more balance, but the main issue, I think, in the Bills game and Rams game was not that we were passing it too much. It's because we were passing it so much that the other team knew that's all we could do. Then it starts to become a problem. You do need that balance. That's why, you have teams like the Chiefs. They've had games this year where the Chiefs have run the ball a lot. They've had games where they've basically turned Pat Mahomes into Alex Smith and just had him manage the game. It does happen. So teams know, hey, this Chiefs team, they can run the ball. But when we didn't have Carson or Hyde and we were down to our 4th string running back, other teams were like, no, they're not going to run the ball.
What do you think is the scariest NFC team to beat Seattle in the playoffs?
It probably is the Rams because of the matchups. I just don't think the matchups are great. I'm not terrified of the Rams. I'm not like going to punt on any game we play against them in the playoffs, but it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, no, I'm not looking forward to the Rams if we have to play them in the playoffs. Hey, tomorrow, I really hope the Falcons beat the Saints because, like, if they beat the Saints, then we get the first seed. See, like, to have the second seed is really not a big deal because you don't get that bye week. But if we get that, it's so crucial for our team.
Oh, yeah, we need that.
Yeah, for the second seed, we play the Rams.
Yeah, exactly. The difference between the seeds is huge.
I do believe the seed and the Rams have to come to our stadium. We will beat them. I do believe that. But I am not looking forward to that Week 16 game. That is worrying me a little bit.
Okay, I got to get another person in here. So Kyle, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you for coming on. I will see you around.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for coming in tonight. Okay, we're going to bring in TJ. TJ, I think he's going to be audio only, but I think I know who this is. TJ, welcome.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
So, HaWK subscriber special. We're streaming. We're about 18 hours away from kickoff against the Giants. How do you feel about this game?
I'm not worried about the Giants offense. I think our defense has proven that they can handle it, maybe. But I'm worried about that Giants defense. I think they're top 10 maybe on defense. I think that's going to be struggle, especially our offensive line when they're a little bit injured. So I'm not sure about that, but as long as we can hold them to on defense, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. I feel like this defense is taking some steps forward, but if we get lit up by Colt McCoy, then all the goodwill is just going to disappear. And I think a lot of people are going to agree with me on that. Like these next few games, playing Colt McCoy, playing Sam Darnold or Joe Flacco, probably Darnold, but it could be Flacco. Playing, God, what's his name? Alex Smith. You better perform in all these games because it's like trying to climb out of a hole. You slip once, you go all the way back to the bottom. And if we have one bad game, I'm going to be right back to the bottom of the hole thing. And this defense it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Washi, I'm going to go to you real quick. So how do you feel about, I know that we still have a lot of stuff to play for this year, but how do you think the Seahawks representation will be on the Pro Bowl and All Pro rosters this year? Because we have a lot of big time players this year.
I think I don't know. I think it'll be better than last year because I think last year we only had like a couple of Pro Bowlers. I think DK Metcalf will probably be like an All Pro. I think if Kyrie or Hopkins don't have much more receiving yards in them. I think he leads the NFL in touchdowns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm not exactly sure about Jamal Adams. I don't think he'll be a Pro Bowler because just like he missed a bunch of games and he didn't really perform too well in some games. And then Bobby, he's always a Pro Bowler. And then I think Dunlap might be a Pro Bowler. We won't have any corner Pro Bowlers. No defensive tackles. Wilson will obviously be a Pro Bowler.
Mm-hmm.
Was Lockett a Pro Bowler last season?
I don't think so. No, he got hurt at the end of the year and his numbers completely collapsed.
Okay, yeah, and then maybe Damian Lewis, and then I know Dwayne Brown will definitely be it.
I mean, I don't think Damian Lewis will because rookies need a while to build enough respect to get to the Pro Bowl. Usually rookies don't make the Pro Bowl unless everybody just knows them like it's an OBJ type thing because he made the catch as a rookie so everyone knew who he was.
Yeah, I think we'll only have like 4 or 5.
I mean, the reason why I think about some of this stuff is all pro selections matter for Hall of Fame resumes. And like there's been some discussion lately about is Bobby Wagner going to make the Hall of Fame? And I believe that he will. So I kind of think about it in those terms. Like I don't care if my team has a lot of all pros or Pro Bowlers, but I do care about it for the players because they need that in order to build a Hall of Fame resume down the line.
Yeah, I think DK Metcalf will be a Hall of Famer. Like if he continues at this rate.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt.
He'll be really good. I think he'll be like definitely if he continues at this rate, probably be like top 5 receiver all time. Yeah.
Okay, so TJ, I'm gonna go to you real quick. It sounds like we are against the Jets possibly going to get Quentin Dunbar back. We obviously just got Shaq Griffin back. Flowers has a chance to make it back for the Rams game. So if we can manage to get our secondary fully healthy in time for the end of the season, how are you feeling about those guys? Because they've been getting beat up a lot this year.
Hello?
TJ? Yeah, okay, I can hear you.
Okay, can you repeat that?
Okay. No, we got Shaq back.
Uh-huh.
We're about to get Dunbar back, supposedly. And Flowers might get back for the Rams game. So if we get all those guys back and they can stay out there and play at 100%, then we will have basically a fully healthy secondary outside of Marquise Blair. If we can get all those guys on the field at the same time, how are you feeling about our secondary in the playoffs?
Well, I mean, it all comes down to the pass rush. I mean, if we can have Carlos and everybody back, then I would feel pretty good because I think that was our main problem. I don't think it really was mainly the secondary, even though we've let some passes upfield, but that wasn't really mainly our fault. We were just going up against better and faster receivers. But if we can get our pass rush healthy, then I think our secondary will be playing fine, and they've proven that for the last 2 games.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty reasonable way to look at it. The thing is, the kind of funny thing is, this team was built with the idea of secondary being more important than pass rush in mind. That's why we traded for Dunbar, we traded for Adams last year. I mean, middle last season we traded for Diggs. We traded for we got all these secondary pieces because I think Carroll was trying to subscribe to the philosophy that defensive backs are more important than pass rushers. And it seems like that did not pay off. So we were luckily able to call an audible in time to save this season. But the team bought into that philosophy going into this year, I think, and it did not work out very well.
So
definitely with that pass rush main thing on defense.
I would say that would have to be the case right now. I mean, there's been a world of difference between this team with Dunlap and this team without him. So I think the only logical inference one can make is that secondary is helped by the pass rush more than the other way around.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to bring in another person here real quick. We got TN Avon in the stream. So I'm going to bring him on. TN Avon, welcome.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. Saturday night, Huskies got their ass kicked, but, life goes on. So 2K subscriber special stream, and it just so happens to be right before a important game against the Giants. So how are you feeling about this one?
Well, I'm pretty good about this one. I mean, I'm hoping it's not a typical Seahawks game. We all know Seahawks like to play down to their opponents for no apparent reason. But, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this Giants offense is severely hindered. I mean, Daniel Jones isn't going to play, right? Isn't he not playing?
He's almost certainly out. It's not a guarantee, but it's highly likely.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, even if it was Daniel Jones or Colt McCoy, Daniel Jones would be out there not at 100%. I think I'm feeling, we should hopefully go into this game and win this game. I'm struggling to see where, we all know that the Seahawks defense, one of their strengths is, we're a pretty good run defense team. And if they can't get the run going, they're going to have Colt McCoy, who's been a subpar quarterback throughout his career, throwing the ball to Darius Slayton. I don't even know who the other wide receivers are.
It's Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard.
Okay.
It's not very good. It's not very good.
But, I'm feeling pretty good overall. I think I'm not expecting a lot of points out of the Giants. I really think our defense is just gonna. I think is real quick. Is Dunlap playing or probably?
We don't know yet. We do not know yet. We will know before game time. They're going to play that one close to the chest. I kind of expect him to not play.
Okay.
But I wouldn't bet on it either. I think it can kind of go either way.
Yeah, Dunlap might play, but it's probably not. But he'll be ready next week.
Yeah, seems reasonable to me.
Even if he didn't play, I'm actually really excited for Rasheem Green to get in and get some more snaps. I've been with you, Brendan, about Rasheem Green. This guy can. I was predicting him to have, obviously barring the injury. I thought if he would have played all season, I was going to predict him to have sort of a breakout year with around 6 to 7 sacks. I was hoping at least, to see something out of him. I'm pretty good about this game. Even if Dunlap doesn't play, I think our pass rush will still show up. Jamal Adams is going to do what he's going to do.
Yeah. Remember what happened last time Jamal Adams played the Giants?
Yeah.
He had the strip sack, fumble recovery touchdown. Mm-hmm. So, if he could do something like that, it would get people excited. Because I think that in between the defense not playing great and him not having a pick yet, the enthusiasm level on Jamal Adams has come down a little bit. But if he could just make a play like that, even if it's in a garbage game where we would have won anyway, it'll just help people get pumped.
Overall, I think my prediction. I think the Seahawks can win this. I think the Seahawks can win this. I want to hopefully like 30-10. I'm not expecting the Giants to score a lot of points. I'm going to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Washi, were you about to say something?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, so just don't like.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So I'm about to actually bring in another person into the stream. So that's fine, dude. Take your time, no problem. All right, so you can leave for a little bit and come back a little later. I'll bring you back on later.
Okay, I'll just join on stream BC.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna expand a little bit. We're gonna go to 4 for a little bit. I'm bringing in Brandon Mikel, the HaWKxAsYLuM. He's one of my elite members. Brandon, welcome to the stream, buddy.
What's up, Brendan? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn on my camera just.
Okay, no problem. All right, so TJ, do you think that by the end of this season, DK Metcalf will lead the league in receiving yards because he's currently number 1? Do you think he can do it? TJ?
Yeah, hello?
Okay, did you hear what I just asked you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he can. I think he might have around 1,500 yards and about 11 to 12 touchdowns this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really. I don't think this team did Steve. I don't know if Steve Largent ever led the league in receiving yards in 1 year. So I don't know. I mean, in my lifetime, we've never had a receiver like this. We did have Doug Baldwin for about a year where he was that level of player. But yeah, we've never seen anything like this before. And it's really cool. It's something different. You know, obviously we've had the best corner in the league. We've had the best, I think we've had the best running back in the league at least a couple times. We've had the best linebacker, the best safety, but we've never had the best receiver. So
I mean, it's really not hard to do. Look who we're playing. I mean, besides the Rams, I mean, the other teams don't really have any good corners that can cover DK.
Now, nobody can cover DK, even Jalen Ramsey. I mean, DK was getting the best of him in a lot of plays. It just didn't turn into receptions.
Yeah, I just don't understand when people say that. Like, DK was open plenty of times against Ramsey. Just Russell was either about to get sacked or he couldn't see DK.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Brandon, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Huskies lost, like I said, but so it goes. But good to see you on here, man. I know you do Seahawks YouTube videos as well. So how you feeling about this game tomorrow? We got a big game. Every game's big, but we got a big game.
I feel good. I mean, I'm not really worried. Honestly, I mean, I don't see us losing this game. And if we do lose, then, I mean, quite frankly, in my head, the season's over. If we lose to Colt McCoy and the Giants, then I don't even know. I mean, I don't care if it's a trap game. I don't care what people call it. If we somehow find a way to lose this game, then we don't even deserve to be in the playoffs. I know that's harsh, but let's be realistic here. I mean, like, we can't be, winning games against the Giants where we're going to be doing against the Packers or the Saints or whoever else in the playoffs. So, I mean, obviously it's a must-win game, but I'm not really sweating it. I'm just, let's go in, get the win, get out. Let's not have any injuries, and, it's our time to shine tomorrow.
Yeah. I kind of feel that same way too. I've had that attitude for a lot of these games. When we played the Cardinals, I was like, okay, if we win, great. If we lose, I'm not even going to get mad because the season's over. There's no point in getting mad about anything. If we lose to the Eagles with Carson Wentz, maybe the worst QB in the league right now, then I'm not going to get that mad about it because we're obviously just not any good. So we can have that attitude in a lot of games down the stretch because a lot of these teams are kind of bad. So we're going to keep coming back to that kind of philosophy. But so T and Avon, let me ask you this. Over the next few weeks, we're going to get a few players back from injury. They include Trey Flowers, Quentin Dunbar, Daryl Taylor, Rashad Penny. Who are you, of those guys, like, who are you the most excited to see come back? Who do you think can change the fortune of this team the most going into the end of the year?
That's a tough one. I'm not going to lie. To start off with Penny, he's not, to my knowledge, I don't even think he's into an actual year yet. I think he's like he's not. You know, he tore his ACL last year, and I'm not. I think it's going to take him, you know, a little. Maybe in the playoffs he might do something, but I think we're going to have to, you know, warm him up back into game shape. I'm not really expecting a lot from him. Daryl Taylor, I don't really know what's going on with him. I wasn't expecting him to even be out this long. I mean, clearly he's, you know, something. Whatever wrong with his leg is serious. I'm gonna have to probably say between Trey Flowers. You said Trey Flowers and Quentin Dunbar, right?
Yeah, and there are a couple other guys too. I mean, there is like Brandon Shell. That's kind of a more obvious one. There is Travis Homer, but I don't think anybody would say him. There are a couple other players, but yeah, I'm just like, who's going to help us the most that can get back in the next few weeks?
The thing with Quentin Dunbar is I think he has ball skills that are
yeah.
And you know, early on in the season, you can watch that guy. I mean, that guy breaks on balls. Certain, you know, he's got a knack for the ball, and he's got ball skills that, you know, Shaquille Griffin and Trey Flowers don't.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed early on when he was healthy. All right, Washi, I'll drag you over in a second here, but yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the reasons why we traded for him. And I do want to say Shaq has actually gotten a couple interceptions this year, so he's starting to develop some theme in that regard. But generally speaking, I agree with you. I do feel bad for Dunbar because his statistics in coverage got murdered when we played the Bills, and I don't really think that was totally his fault. I think he's going to take a lot of heat for that, but I don't think that can really be totally put on him.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, the dude was a top 3, I believe top 3 corner for PFF last year. You don't just forget how to cover it. You know, I think if anything, you know, a lot of it has to do with going out there playing. You know, there's something going on with that knee, man. And I hope that you know, if he's healthy, I would actually prefer, if he's healthy, I would prefer him over Trey Flowers. Even though Trey Flowers, we got to give this guy some respect. This guy's been playing pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I think in the past 6-7 weeks, he's been
average, maybe.
Average corner, semi good. But I'd rather take Quentin Dunbar.
Me too. I actually completely agree with that. I don't trust Flowers yet. He's playing better, but I don't trust him yet. Okay, TJ, same question to you. Of the players who we're going to be getting back in the next few weeks, potentially, who are you most excited to see?
Honestly, I'm going to go a different direction and say Cody Parkinson.
Okay, that's not a bad one too, because he got on the field against the Eagles. He just didn't get targeted.
Yeah. Like, honestly, like, I think he's going to be so helpful in the red zone. Like, line him up at a receiver spot and just throw it up to him, and he's going to come down with the ball 9 times out of 10.
It's pretty good.
He's like, what, 6'7"?
Yeah, he's 6'7", and he's got great hands. There are some limitations.
Yeah, and we had a...
Yeah. All right, so that's not a bad pick. Brandon, what about you? Same question. What do you think?
I think this is easy. I'm gonna say Quentin Dunbar. I think Shaquille Griffin's been playing like hot trash this season. It's so frustrating because, you know, coming off last year, you know, he took that step. Yeah, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, he's taking that step. Let's see, you know, it's contract year. He's going to be hungry. We're going to have to pay him a good amount of money. And then, like, 4 weeks into the season, he's giving up the most catches. And I'm like, geez, Louise, dude. Like, and the interception, I mean, 2 of them, he obviously has 2. One was a ball thrown by Dak Prescott that was, you know, completely behind the receiver, threw it straight to Shaquille Griffin. And the other one was a good one, but it was against Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, you know, I don't know if I'm going to, you know, jump up and down. You got an interception against Ryan Fitzpatrick. But and I think Quentin Dunbar, when he was healthy, I mean, he was playing really good. I thought he was our best corner when he was healthy. Obviously, the Buffalo Bills game, that man was playing on one leg, and I was literally yelling at the TV, be like, Pete, you got to take this man out. Like, he's obviously, like, his speed wasn't there. His footwork wasn't there. That man didn't know where to go. I was like, bro, you got to take this man off the field. So I just think Quentin is, you know, up there. I think guys like Rashad Penny and stuff are cool, but I just feel like we already have Carlos Hyde. I mean, we have Chris Carson. So, but the thing with Penny, I think he's solid. I just don't think we're the right offense for him. So whenever I see him on the field, I'm like, it just sucks, man. Because like I said, I think he would play really good with another team, but I just think with us, he's just so limited. I'm like, even though I want to get excited for him, it's more of a depth move. I think as long as Rashad Penny comes back healthy, I won't have that fear again of last year when we're stuck with Travis Homer and Marshawn Lynch, heading into Green Bay. So
yeah, that was not fun. All right, so Washi, you're back. You're back in the stream. So same question to you. We're gonna get some players back over the next few weeks. Guys like Dunbar, Shaq. You could also throw in guys like
Darrell Taylor.
Okay, yeah, Darrell Taylor, Rashad Penny. I guess you could maybe even throw Josh Gordon in there if you wanted to. Who are you most excited to see who's coming back in the next few weeks?
I don't know. It's hard. Wait. I don't know. I would say Quinn Dunbar because I don't know. Just the ball skills, just like really good ball skills. The problem with like Shaq and Flowers is just they just don't know how to catch a ball, and that's like kind of annoying. They got like some easy interceptions they can have, but just don't catch the ball because they don't have any ball skills. And I think that wait 1 sec.
Okay. But yeah, so we are going to get some help in here. I know nobody really talked about Darrell Taylor that much, and I think that's reasonable to say that coming up, he's going to do what LJ Collier did last year, which is basically nothing, and it's not totally his fault. But as we have seen with LJ Collier, that second year after the first year that ends up kind of being a red shirt, some things happen, good things happen. So if he can get on the field a little bit, I want to see if he can show me anything.
Yeah,
I liked Taylor when we picked him, and I did not really like Collier for whatever that's worth. Okay, so
Brendan, I gotta head off. See you.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, okay. So I've just been told that Oregon lost to California just now, and Ryguy's trying to come onto the stream. I think he's going to come on here to rant and rave, so I don't even know if I should let him on right now. He might say something that gets me demonetized because, yeah. But anyway, okay. So of the 4 relatively soft games we have left, which one do you guys think is the bigger trap game? I'm going to start with T and Avon. Which of these 4 easy, quote unquote, easy games against the New York teams, the football team, and the 49ers, which do you think is the biggest trap game?
For me, it's between the 49ers or the Redskins, but I think I'm going to go with a trap game, probably the Redskins. Listen, these guys got a defensive line rotation of 5 first-round picks. These guys are not playing around up front.
Yeah.
Front 7 is, 7. They also have, which is probably going to be the offensive rookie of the year. Antonio Gibson, their running back, has 11 touchdowns. They got a good run.
Him or the Jacksonville guy, they're both really good.
James Robinson.
Yeah, James Robinson. There we go. Yeah, a lot of people are saying the Washington team is going to be the trap game. How about you, TJ? Which one do you think will be the trap game?
Honestly, I know it might sound stupid, but I'm going to go with the Jets because they're 11-0, but everyone's saying, oh, they're not going to win a game. They're going to win a game, but I think Jamal Adams is coming to that game. I think they're going to try to have something to prove that they can beat one of the best offenses in the NFL. So I think that might be one of our toughest games.
It is the definition of a trap game, right? Especially if we roll over the Giants. So I guess stranger things have happened, but if we lose to the Jets, it's more than just one loss. That's a pretty biblical thing to be blowing. All right, how about you, Brandon? What do you think?
Before I say, I just remember one player we forgot to mention. I don't know if y'all were talking about, but Josh Gordon. That's also a guy to be excited about coming back.
Yeah, I mentioned Josh Gordon's name briefly. The thing is, he's probably only going to get like 5 total targets in those 2 games, and then playoffs we'll see. So we'll see.
But with the game, I think to me it's obvious. I think it's San Francisco. Listen, I ain't scared of New York. I ain't scared of Washington. I'm not scared of Alex Smith, no matter who they got on their defense. I just don't see us losing to them. And if we do, like I said, it's one of those situations where you're talking about, Brendan, like if we lose to them, then our season's over. But San Francisco is one of those teams where Shanahan's already said if they're in playoff contention, which they are, they're only one game back from a wild card spot. They're going to bring back Kittle and Garoppolo. And let me tell you what, it's coming down to the end of the season. And if they're in that contention, for the wild card spot and Kittle's ready to go in week 17 and Garoppolo, and we already know San Francisco plays us good. We saw it last year, and, they're starting to get healthy, and we saw they got healthy, and they beat the Rams. Sherman came back, Raheem Mostert came back, and now they're starting to get healthier on offense and defense. They're starting to change a little bit. I think that's a game where, hopefully, for the love of everything that's good, we're still in contention for that first seed, week 17. But I think San Francisco, even though let's say they're not a wild card team, they're gonna try. You know how bad San Francisco would like to spoil our first seed, opportunity. I think it's gonna be interesting. So I'm gonna pick San Francisco.
Yeah, the thing with the Niners is they're playing the Bills tomorrow. If they lose that game, they're going to be up neck deep in it. They're going to be in a lot of trouble if they lose that game to the Bills. And then they still have to play Arizona. And Arizona's not a trash team. I think they're overrated, but they're not a trash team. So I feel like there's going to be at least one, maybe two losses before we play them. Also, no, wait, they already played the Giants. But yeah, there should be some L's in there for the 49ers before they play us. So I suspect they may be eliminated by week 17. I don't know. And honestly, if Garoppolo plays, that might be good for us if you take a look at the last time we played them. Literally, their offense woke up when Nick Mullins came in. So I don't know. Maybe I don't think Garoppolo's had a very good game yet when he's played us. He's played 3 games, and one of them was okay.
He's so scared of the moment. That man is so trash. I don't even know. San Francisco was so dumb to pay him all that money. I was like, dude, you haven't even done jack. Why are you paying him all that money? But, I mean, Howard is that, I guess.
I was going to say, I think we match up pretty well with the 49ers. I really do.
We do.
I think we've always played them really close. Pete Carroll's kind of always had Shanahan's number. There was that one game they beat. I don't know how many times they beat us since Shanahan's been in. Maybe once, maybe twice.
I think they beat us twice. They beat us one time with Nick Mullins in 2018.
Okay.
That was the game where Janikowski blew the game by missing an extra point, and then he didn't try to tackle on a kick return touchdown.
That was the overtime, right?
That was OT. That was OT. I remember that. But yeah.
Now the Rams, I hate that matchup for the Seahawks.
Oh yeah.
We probably gonna lose.
That is the worst matchup Seahawks can face. I mean, in my opinion, that team literally killed. All
right. Okay, TJ. So I'm going to ask you one more question, and then I'm going to let you go to get some other people in here. I think Ryguy wants to come in here and say stuff about Oregon that may not be safe for work. So, TJ, what is your record prediction for the Seahawks by the end of this season?
I think I'm gonna go 12-4. I think we lose to the Rams, and then we beat everybody else.
Yeah, that's safe. I mean, that's reasonable. I feel like we're going to beat the Rams, but I'm not going to be super confident about it going in. I feel like the thing that I don't want to get sucked into is this idea that our defense played amazing against the Rams, because I truly feel like the Rams could have scored 40 in that game if they wanted to or needed to. They just didn't need to because we weren't scoring. All right, TJ. Thank you for coming on, my man.
All right, later.
I'll talk to you later, man. All right.
Later.
See ya. Okay, I'm bringing in a Ryguy now. I think he's going to say some stuff about Oregon. Ryguy, how's it going?
Well, I mean, I think all I can really say is just we're not that good.
Yeah. It's a bad year to be a Pac-12 fan. I don't know if you guys like college football, Aiden and Brandon, but it is not a good year. It's not a good year for the Pac-12.
Yeah,
I'm a UCF guy, so
yeah, UCF
because that's my college. So that's
where Dante Culpepper went.
Orlando.
Yeah, I mean we've had a lot of players. The Griffin twins, Brandon Marshall, Gabriel Davis plays for the Bills, scored like literally 2 touchdowns against us. Yeah, we got
Florida can. Yeah, and plus Florida's it's a huge state. You can have 5 decent college football teams at any given time, I think.
Yeah, if I were a college football athlete, Florida is definitely a place I would consider playing. I mean, the weather's great. Seems like there's a lot of stuff to do. And a lot of variety.
I guess UCF is near Disneyland, Disney World.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's cool. But yeah, it's a bad year to be a Pac-12 fan. If USC loses tomorrow, we will not have a single team ranked. I can tell you that right now. And that is embarrassing because we're supposed to be a Power 5 conference.
Yeah, and now look, did you see Coastal Carolina beat BYU?
I heard about that. Yeah,
the Mormons versus the Mullets.
Yeah. Okay, so all right. So TN Avon. When we get to the playoffs, if we end up having to play in the first round, who do you want to play against? Who do you think the matchup is the best? Which wild card team would you want to play if we get like the 2 seed?
I think right now we play Arizona, don't we? If the season were to end today,
we're the third seed. We're the third seed.
No, I thought we're second.
A lot of the websites are messing it up, but technically it goes by division record, and the Packers are 3-1 in the division right now. We're 2-2.
Oh.
So if you check like NFL.com, we're the third seed. But like everywhere else, like ESPN and stuff, like they got it wrong. Like I got confused. Yeah,
okay, that's interesting. And that sucks because there's no way the Packers are going to lose another divisional game because they still have to play the Bears and the Lions. There's no way they're going to lose to one of those teams.
First round,
maybe the Bears can do us a favor, but
maybe
I'm not praying. I'm not.
Yeah. All right, TN Avon. So who would you say? Who do you want to play in the playoffs?
Man, in the first round, not the wild card, right?
Yeah. Whoever we end up playing first, whether we get the bye, whether we don't get the bye, whether we win the division or not. What team would you be into?
I'm not that scared of the Bucks, to be honest, guys.
Yeah, there is something a little mystical, maybe that you're a little scared of with that team. It's beyond what you see on the field with the actual players in terms of their numbers. But yeah, they're not a great team. They're not.
They have most time I've ever seen. Just an insane. I mean, you got Mike Evans, Antonio. That offense is loaded, but I'm not. I've been watching some of their games, and I've watched Tom Brady. What I think it is I think it's Bruce Arians and Tom Brady. I just don't think that's a good marriage between the two. They have Bruce Arians is like a deep pass, throw it down the field type of guy. Tom Brady's like an intermediate, passer, always has been, short to intermediate. I'm not that scared of the Bucks. Their defense is, legit. I'll probably say their defense is legit, but I think them.
Yeah. Brandon, who do you want to play?
Well, I'm one of those people, I'm not going to lie, where I truly believe if we're really that good to win a Super Bowl, we should beat everybody. So to me, matchup honestly doesn't matter. I feel like if we're at a point where we have to pick and choose of I want to play this team with this team, then I feel like we're not a Super Bowl team. I feel like if we are truly like the number one team in the NFC, no matter who we play, whether it's the Cardinals, the Bucks, whatever, because I've literally heard some other Seahawks channels or whatever being like, oh, I wouldn't mind like losing a couple of games or getting out of, just to fix with certain matchups. I'm like, dude, if we're really that good, I wouldn't really care. But if I do have to pick one, because it's kind of cheating, that's like a cheat answer. Honestly, I'd be okay with playing the Cardinals, which is weird because you're probably saying that's a tough game. But I mean, Kyler Murray in his first playoff game, we're probably going to win the division at home. But there's no fans, I guess. I always forget about that.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Well, the thing with Arizona is we led them wire to wire in both games. Mm-hmm. They literally had a lead for 0 seconds in our 2 matchups combined because they took the lead with no time left in that game, effectively. So, yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying, Brandon, but one thing I would throw in there is, do you guys think that Kansas City would have beaten Baltimore last year if they had played in the AFC title game?
Yeah. I don't think Lamar the way Lamar played in the playoffs was atrocious. I think Kansas City 100% could have played him. And I feel like with Mahomes scoring 40+ every game, I mean, that's just tough to beat.
Yeah. I remember thinking Kansas City just caught a big break when Baltimore went down the way they did, but maybe Kansas City would have beaten them. So who knows?
Yeah.
I'm going to bring in Brandon Rogers here real quick. Brandon Rogers, you are on. Welcome to the stream, buddy. How you doing tonight?
Good. How's it going? Good to talk to y'all.
Yeah, it's good to have you on. Brandon Rogers has been commenting on my streams and my videos for quite some time, so good to have him on. So I'm going to extend the same question to you that I just asked to the other two. Who would you like to play in the playoffs the most?
Out of the wild card teams, I think it's got to be Arizona. I think that's the clear answer. I think, obviously with the Rams and the Buccaneers, they'd obviously be having the most playoff experience. But like Brandon was saying earlier, it made total sense. We should be able to beat anybody in that wild card. But if you had to choose, I think the obvious choice is Arizona. I mean, the Rams and Tampa just have way more talent defensively than Arizona.
True.
But, that I think that's the clear answer.
Yeah. Somebody in chat just pointed out that we have 3 people named Brendan or Brandon right now. But nobody spells it like me. Very few people spell it like me in my experience. I almost never see it. Yeah. Okay. So one thing to throw out there, just for the sake of argument, the Vikings could make a playoff push. Is that a team you'd like to see in the playoffs? I know we kind of played against them, but T and Aiden, I'll start with you. What do you think about the Vikings at this point? Because they're playing good right now.
I'll tell you, Dalvin Cook's been getting dinged up, but if he can stay healthy, that's 100% I would love in the playoffs. I think Seahawks defense has a good run defense, and granted, I think we beat the Vikings this year barely, right?
Oh yeah, barely.
Yeah, that was a game we absolutely should have lost, but that doesn't mean I think we would lose to them. But I am aware of the fact that that team beat us for about 56 minutes out of 60.
They ran. Now that I just thought about it, they ran all over us with the backup running back, Madison.
Right.
Yeah, after Cook went out, yeah.
We were stopping Cook, though, weren't we? Before Madison?
Yeah, we were. I thought, didn't Cook almost have like 100 yards before he got injured? And it was like the first half.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one game this year where we got run all over. I will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Brandon? What do you think of the Vikings?
Honestly, I don't want to play the Vikings. That's a trap. In my opinion, that's a definition of a trap game. I'm more scared of them than I am the Cardinals. Just because, I don't know, man. There's something about when Kirk Cousins played Seattle. He always makes it interesting. I still remember that one game against the Redskins at the time.
Yeah.
Where he made that one deep ball. I don't remember, what was it, like a 40-yard pass or whatever. I remember we scored a touchdown. I was like, bro, Kirk Cousins ain't doing jack right now. And that man goes all the way down the field and less than 2 minutes and scores a touchdown. There's something about Kirk, man. There's something about Kirk. Even though that man's prime time record is terrible, I don't want to play him. Dalvin Cook went off, and then Alexander Madison. They didn't even need Dalvin Cook. I said Madison. They didn't even need Dalvin Cook. Madison just came right in. Start making plays. Justin Jefferson starting to become a certified playmaker. Adam Thielen, we know what that man could do. He coached Shaquille Griffin, broke his ankles a couple of times. Literally, I'm surprised that we even won that game. And I don't want to play the Vikings again, honestly. I don't like playing the Vikings, so that's a hard pass for me.
Yeah, and Brandon, do you have any other comments about the Vikings potentially?
I think that obviously last year's Vikings team was a lot different than this year's. And if somehow they get in, their defense obviously isn't as strong because they lost a lot of pieces over this past offseason. And, I think there's a thing with the Vikings is once you can either stop the run or once you do stop the run, and Seattle does that very well, if you limit Kirk to be one-dimensional, that's the thing that you have to make Kirk do. And I think if somehow they get in, I wouldn't mind playing them. But, how they played us this year, very tough. So, it would be an interesting game, but I'd still be confident in us beating Minnesota just based off of that fact, the young, inexperienced defense. And, the defense has the ability to make Kirk that offense one-dimensional.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, so do you guys have any questions for me? Anything you'd like to ask T and Aiden? I'll start with you. Anything you'd like to discuss? Any topics that interest you?
Real quick, I want to say on the Vikings, let's not forget that we have the last 3 weeks in the NFL, we actually have the number 1 pass rush, I believe.
Oh, yeah. 19 sacks in the last 4 games.
I think our pass rush is going to be way better if we played the Vikings than it was.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I can't really think.
And let me add one thing too to that. If you do end up by playing the Rams in the wild card game, they're without Andrew Whitworth now. Now they were without him for the like half of that game or whatever when we played him. But you add that into it too. The pass rush is better than it was in that game. So.
Well, I don't think Whitworth will make it back this year. Are they saying he's going to?
No.
They think he's gonna, but I doubt it.
He's like 53 years old. How's he gonna work his way back? I mean, if he does, he's an idiot. He's gonna blow up his leg and be in a wheelchair the rest of his life.
I think he just wants one more final run at it. But
yeah, he doesn't have a ring yet because he spent most of his career on the Bengals, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. So Brandon, how about you? Anything you want to ask me? Anything you want to go into?
Wait, me, right?
Yeah, Brandon Mikel.
So I want to ask you this because a lot of Seahawks fans disagree with me on this point because a lot of them are they always want to hear the good part of this team. They don't want to hear any negative, even though I'm being realistic half the time. And they always think you don't even like this team or whatever. I'm like, bro, come on. Let me ask you this. Let me hear your opinion. So I truly believe deep down that I'm not even getting my hopes up because if you look at the teams we beat, they're all trash teams. Comes down to the wire. If you look at the beginning of the season, I mean, constantly it was coming down to last plays here and there. And then all of a sudden we got to the point we were 5-0. Then all of a sudden we reached this point where we play some good teams. We go 2-3. We get blown out several times. And then now we're back in the situation where last play we played against the Eagles. And they're trash, and we shot ourselves in the foot. And then, now I already know what's going to happen. This is why Pete Carroll still has a job. We always get this lucky break second half of the season. Pete wins a bunch of games just enough to keep his job, and then we go to the playoffs and lose the first or second round. That's why I'm not keeping my hopes up because I know it's going to happen this year. We're going to win a bunch of these games, just lose one. And then we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But I just don't think people are saying you're crazy. We got the best pass rush now in the last few games. I'm like, dude, we haven't played anybody yet. Let's chill out and see what happens. So I want to hear your opinion on that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we don't really have that many opportunities to play good teams this season for one because our schedule was very soft. The Bills were obviously a pretty good team, and that's a team that took care of us pretty well. I don't know if Arizona is good or not. They're not bad, but I'm really just not thinking they're that good. We should have swept them, and Buffalo should have beaten them. So I don't think that they're a good team. So if you take a look at it, you don't have that many opportunities to play good teams because we didn't have to play the Packers or the Saints or the even the Bucks. And I know the Bucks are not a great team, but that's another team that you could have potentially played. So you don't get that many opportunities to prove yourself. And kind of tapping into what you said, I think one thing that happens is that this Seahawks team is consistently finding a way to make things close at the end of the game so it doesn't look as bad. Like Buffalo killed us, and then David Moore had that basically garbage time touchdown to make it look a little better. The Rams killed us, but they stopped scoring in the second half because I think partially because they didn't really need to, and it looked a little better than it was. So that's one thing that I think happens sometimes with this team. I think that Carroll escapes a lot of ire from the media and fans because we don't get killed, because some way, somehow we find a way to make these games look good at the end. I'm kind of with you. I mean, my philosophy going into this season was if we didn't at least make it to the NFC title game, I wanted everything to get blown up. I did.
Yeah.
And that's might sound a little silly, but when you look at the investments made in the offseason, I mean, we traded everything for Jamal Adams. We gave a bunch of money to Greg Olsen. We gave a bunch of money to Jerron Reed. We brought in BJ Finney. I know he never played, but we still brought him in. We got this guy. We got that guy. You don't become a buyer like that just to have the exact same result as you did in 2019. So I'm kind of with you. I could definitely see that happening. But to me, I do feel like this is a good team, especially with the way they're playing right now. But Yeah, they do have some stuff to prove, but we're not really going to have a chance to prove it for a little while. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I was
yeah.
just gonna say that I think a lot of I hear a lot of Seahawks fans too being like, oh, well the Steelers or the Packers are like, they have good records, but they're like, oh, but they haven't really played anyone. I'm like, we haven't played anyone. And the few times when we got to have an opportunity to prove ourselves, to prove that we're a better team, we play Josh Allen, he's young. We play Jared Goff. I mean, the Rams are good, but I mean, come on. I mean, like Pete Carroll, Sean McVay's got Pete Carroll figured out like it's nothing. He's got books on books on books on books on how to be Pete Carroll. Literally, that West Coast offense, it literally breaks our zone. Like it destroys us. And Cooper Kupp and Robert Wood, I mean, it absolutely.
Yeah.
I just feel like the several times where we had, or a couple of times where we actually had a chance to prove, we literally got. It wasn't even like it was close. We got destroyed. And you're going back to the Rams point. Not only did they stop scoring, but the Rams shot themselves in the foot. I remember a Tyler Higbee play, could have been a 50-yard touchdown. Goff barely overthrows it. Like several drop passes by the Rams. There was just so many times where I'm like, dude, they should be up by 3 touchdowns at least. But they're literally shooting themselves in the foot. So I think, like I said, it's just when we play good teams, we get blown out. And then against bad teams, we still find a way to make it close. So I'm like, okay, well, what happens when we play – what if we had to play someone else? I mean, good thing I'm not too scared of any teams in the NFC. We don't have a Kansas City or anything, but still, I mean, it's a legitimate concern because we haven't proven ourselves, which, like you said, we haven't had too many chances. But the very couple of times we've had, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't even close. We got absolutely embarrassed on national television. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
So I'm going to bring in this comment real quick from T-Man. Have you seen the Steelers schedule, though? Which is a valid point. The Steelers have had to play nobody. And not only have they had to play nobody, they've cut a lot of breaks. They played the Ravens with no Lamar. They got to play the Cowboys with Garrett Gilbert. And I know the Cowboys would lose pretty much no matter who they played because they suck. But Garrett Gilbert is still the worst of the QBs that they could have played, except for maybe Ben DiNucci. But yeah, they've gotten to play the Broncos when in the game they lost Drew Lock and I think Cortland Sutton. They got to play the Giants week 1. They got to play a lot of bad teams. So there's a little bit of that going on. But at the same time,
they're 11-0. You can't take that away.
At the same time, they're 11-0. Like if we had beaten Brendan Mikel, if we had beaten Arizona and swept them, if we had beaten Arizona in Arizona and swept them, you would probably feel a little different about that, right? Because then we'd be 9-2. We would have 2 losses to the 2 best teams we played this year. We would have swept a decent Arizona team. Would you feel differently had we found a way to hold on to that game?
Yes and no. I mean, mostly no, because Brendan, I feel like this is the thing. What we invested, like you said, into the offseason, we're all in. We know Russell Wilson doesn't have a lot of time. We know Bobby doesn't have a lot of time. These guys are going to be gone in a couple of years. Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes is not losing by 3 touchdowns. That would never happen. And they're a Super Bowl team. The fact that we even got blown out by Buffalo and LA is a concern. It's a legitimate concern. It wasn't a close game that came down to, a field goal and they kicked a field goal and beat us. We weren't even competing. It was legitimately all game. We couldn't do nothing. Once we faced a somewhat competent team, all of a sudden we just break down. We don't know how to play football. But we play Atlanta or Dallas or some team that has a bunch of flaws. Oh yeah, Russell Wilson 5 touchdowns. He's MVP all of a sudden. But we saw that tough stretch of games. Russell Wilson 10 touchdowns and 10 turnovers. I'm like, dude, it just no matter even if we would have won that Arizona game, it'd still be a legitimate concern because we're not winning like Kansas City. I understand we're not like Kansas City, but I feel like you got to be like a Kansas City if you want to win a Super Bowl. Because that's just my opinion. But if we had a better record, it'd make me feel better if I get in the 1 seed. But I'd still have legitimate concerns that Super Bowl teams like that in the history of all Super Bowl teams, they'll get blown out 2 to 3 times a year by 2 to 3 touchdowns. So,
I think we played pretty well against the Cardinals. I'm going to be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We did.
Yeah.
But
just Benson Mayo's penalty on special teams that just really blew it up, But
or if we didn't give the ball to Hyde 3 straight times on our last possession.
Gosh, that pisses me off. I don't know why we do so much.
I want to ask you guys, in the Eagles game, did you guys see, and this I think this actually could have changed the way the game I know our defense played really good, but did you guys see how many times that their tight end was open, but Wentz underthrew it just by a little bit? It was one, I think Jordan Brooks was on him, and then another time Wagner was on him, and the tight end was wide open, man. It would have been maybe like, oh man, like a 40, 50-yard touchdown. Like,
that happens like every game, it feels like.
Yeah.
We've had so many breaks.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a person wanting to jump in here. So T and Avon, I'm gonna have to let you go. Thank you for coming on, man. This was fun.
For sure.
Appreciate it. So yeah, definitely stop by next time we do one of these. We'll be doing more of these as time goes by, but appreciate having you on, man.
Yeah, congratulations on 2000.
Yeah, thank you. All right, peace out, man. All right, I'm gonna bring Ryguy back in for a little bit. Hey, man, how you doing?
Well,
so Ryguy's pretty unhappy right now, but that's okay. We're all.
I think it's just more of accepting my fate when it comes to the Ducks. I mean, it's just we're just not that good. I mean,
I
don't know if it's Corona or if it's.
All right, so Brandon Rogers, did you have anything you wanted to ask me or anything you wanted to talk about while we're on stream?
Well, I think there's a few things, honestly. I wanted to get your opinion on I think we are going to get the 1 seed. And do you think that, if we are the 2 seed, do you think, the path to the Super Bowl is still, I think the 1 seed is obviously going to help us, but do you think the 2 seed would still get us there? I mean, obviously depending upon matchups, stuff like that, but and then, I just wanted to address Brandon's point real quick with those other games. And I saw somebody in the chat bring it up too. We really didn't have a competent running game in the Ram game and the Bill game. So I think that's another thing that was impacting the team at the time. But, but that was my question to you, Brendan.
Right. Well, what I would say is that the NFC this year is not very good. All the top teams are flawed heavily, except maybe the Saints. And I personally think the Saints are flawed. I think they have a noodle-armed QB, kind of. I don't think their offense as a whole is all that good. Okay, there's an echo going on in here. I can hear myself.
Fix that.
Okay, so
I mean, I think
their
that
conference is weak. Like the Packers, they're not bad, but they did lose to the Vikings. They did lose that game to the Colts, where the Colts tried to hand them the game every which way they could at the end of that game, and they still lost it in overtime. The Bucs are very flawed. So,
and don't make sense.
Yeah, I know the Rams are scary for us because of the matchup. I know we all hate that matchup against the Rams, and I do, but they're not that good. They lost. They got swept by a 49ers team, including by their backup QB. They lost that game to the Bills. I think they lost one other game. I can't remember.
They were getting blown out by the Bills.
Yeah.
Obviously, but yeah.
They were getting blown out, but LA took the lead, but then Buffalo went down.
Yeah, I remember that.
Here's my thing. I truly think this year that Seattle can go into anywhere and win, whether it's New Orleans, Green Bay, if somehow we're a wild card 5 seed going into Tampa, whatever, wherever the case is.
Without fans, I still don't want to go to Green Bay because it's.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with going to Green Bay.
I mean, I get that, but I think just the point of where that Green Bay team is, I mean, you got to remember the Jacksonville Jaguars were keeping it close with the Packers. I mean, it's crazy what how Green Bay's been. I mean, they're don't get me wrong, Green Bay's still a good team, but they're just a bit inconsistent at sometimes, obviously.
I mean, think about how much we have to scratch and claw to beat the Eagles on the road. We needed to get I think like an act of God to beat the Vikings in 2015, and then we can't really win we can't be like the Giants. We can't just win 3 road playoff wins.
And then that Carolina divisional game, when we got down 31-0 at half, that was just.
Fun fact, I literally slept on the Panthers in that game. My alarm didn't go off. I woke up and it was at halftime.
So sorry.
My alarm did not go off, and I woke up and we were down by a lot.
Wow.
But okay. So also Nicholas is back in the voice chat. He said he wanted to come on here and spit some facts.
Okay, I'm here to spit some facts.
Go ahead, man.
The amount of negativity directed towards this team right now, I get that some people are frustrated, but there was this moment. I was looking at some of the interviews, and Jamal Adams said about Seahawks fans, there's always something wrong with the team. There's always You are all exactly that. Y'all nitpick the team so much. You can't. The negativity bias, it's so strong with you guys. It's a circle jerk.
I mean, there's a lot of reason to nitpick, though.
Yeah, you have to. This isn't.
You have to be realistic.
Yeah,
sugarcoat shit. Sorry
Well,
for the language, but
No, it's fine. But I think there is a valid point to that. I'll give you guys an example. I don't know if you guys know basketball at all, but San Antonio Spurs have a head coach named Greg Popovich, and he's considered to be one of the greatest head coaches of all time.
Definitely.
And I used to spend a lot of time on Spurs, the SB Nation blog for Spurs fans, and I would read comments on the Spurs articles, and Spurs fans would complain and bitch endlessly about how Greg Popovich is so overrated. He did this thing wrong. He did that thing wrong. He sucks. He's terrible. We need a new head coach. Why is he doing this? Why is he putting DI in? Why is he doing this, that? And I remember thinking, like, you guys do realize you have by far the best head coach in the league, right? And when they would get called on that, they'd be like, well, he's making all these mistakes. What are we supposed to do? So I think what happens is when you follow a team, you see everything that they do. And you notice all the bad stuff that most people don't. So you get caught up in the mistakes that they make, and you don't realize that every other team or every other coach or every other player in the league is making those mistakes as well, and most of them are making way more. I do think there's some truth to that.
Yeah, we have a significant leg up over a ton of overwhelming majority of the other teams in the league, because we have a guy who is at the very least top 5 in the entire world in the quarterback position. And because of him, we literally always have a chance. So this pessimism about how we're never going to beat the Packers or the Chiefs or whatever, it's unwarranted. It's unwarranted.
I definitely don't think we're never going to beat the Packers. The Packers are not even that good.
I'll tell you what, though, too. I think you'll all agree that
2014.
I've heard from multiple people, and I'm fully aboard on this. The Pete Carroll contract extension is asinine. It's retarded. I'm so pissed with it. It's
either. He hasn't won a Super Bowl in the contract that he got after Super Bowl 4.
I can't even understand it. Like, it's
I'm not in love with the coaching staff, but the team overall, it's in a really good spot.
Well, Ken Norton, he'll be gone after this season. That's just going to be a fact.
Or he'll have no responsibilities, and he'll just be a dude to drink beers after the game with the players or something.
I think going back to the negativity thing, I think a lot of Seahawks fans are so not negative, but nitpicking about stuff is how many years in a row have we looked good or something's happened and we lose in the playoffs first or second round because this, or you make excuses. I think we're getting to the point, Seattle fans, where we're impatient or we're frustrated because, like I said, we know Russell's time is not – he ain't going to be here forever. So we can't just lose in the first round and be like, oh, well, it's okay, we'll get him next year. We're slowly getting to the point where it's not going to be next year. We got to start paying people. Jamal Adams.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Last year when we lost to Green Bay, I kind of thought it was kind of like that, where next year, I thought it was a good year, definitely, in that Dallas year too. But this year it's all in. It's got to be there.
I know, and I know that in hockey, the Sharks, they were a consistent Stanley Cup contender. They even made a finals, but they lost in 6. But then they made this trade for a player named Erik Karlsson from Ottawa, and they gave up their first-round pick, and then they gave him a massive extension that gave Ottawa another first-round pick. In 2019, 2020, San Jose just fell off a fucking cliff. Like, worst team in the league type of.
Texans have done that.
So, and Ottawa has like a top 3.
They've gone all in, and they've sucked now.
So that's the risk you can take when you go all in.
Yeah, and it's not the same for us, obviously, because we went all in and we have a good team, but we did go all in on defense, and our defense has been pretty trash. Although it is starting to work its way into a bit more respect.
And I think I'll tell you what,
for a
though.
while, but San Jose is they're really old.
And I'm going to say this too. I think come playoff time, the run game is going to fully be there, or at least it should be. It should fully be healthy, and that's going to add another element to the offense too. People are forgetting the offensive talent isn't even fully there right now, and they're still putting up 31 points a game average. So, this offense still has pieces to come with it. So, I think this team will be shaped up very well by playoff time. I do think Seattle wins out, but obviously that Ram game is a bit dicey, but overall after that game, if they do win that game, if they win all these other games heading up to it, Washington should be, they've obviously played Seattle tough, so that'll be interesting, but I think they should win out, or at least go 12-4.
I hope.
Yeah. I don't know why. I know there has been some pessimism in this stream, but optimistically, I actually feel good about that Rams game. I do.
I do too. Yeah, I honestly do. I mean, we have a more competent run game. Obviously, the defense is playing better, more healthy. I fully agree.
Ryguy, Hasher wants to get in. Can I let you go since you were on earlier?
Sure.
All right. I'll talk to you later, man. I'll see you guys. I'll see you in stream later. We are going to play video games later. Peace out.
Bye.
All right. I'm going to bring in Hasher here real quick because he wanted to come on. Hasher.
Cool.
All right, he's working with his microphone. I'll give him a second.
Let me ask you this too, Brendan. Can
you all hear me?
How big of an impact do you think Josh Gordon has?
I actually think it will be significant. I did a video on this last year. It's like a year old. It's actually one of my most viewed videos ever, where I went into what getting Josh Gordon could mean for the Seahawks, and I put it in terms of efficiency. Because obviously Josh Gordon was not going to get 150 yards a game. He wasn't going to get 2 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
It was never going to happen. So I was like, okay, what about efficiency? Because one thing with David Moore before this season is he was very inefficient.
Oh, definitely.
His average, it was 7 yards a target because he caught so few of the passes thrown his way. And I was looking at some other players on this team, and I was looking at when this offense was at its best in 2015, it had 3 receivers who averaged more than 10 yards per target. Baldwin, Lockett, and I think Curse that year actually averaged more than 10 yards per target. I think Richardson may have as well. So I was looking at it like that, and I was saying, okay, Josh Gordon, when he was in his prime, averaged way more than 10 yards per target. When he got back from the first suspension in Cleveland, he was averaging way more than 10 yards a target. So I was like, if he can get back to that and just be efficient, we will have something. And when he played for us last year, I know it was only for 4 games, he averaged 12.5 yards per target, which is really good for a receiver. So that's where I think he can make it, because he's not going to get targeted 15 times a game. That's just not going to happen. But Josh Gordon can be efficient, and most importantly, he can be effective on 3rd down.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think a thing is too. I really haven't been. I mean, I've been a fan of David Moore. I mean, he's hot and cold, obviously, but and so is Malik Turner. But I just think, and obviously, we're getting him back in the most important game of the season versus the Rams. No doubt about that. That's huge. But I think that'll be the season-defining game, obviously, against the Rams, and you're going to need all the pieces back for it. And I think Seattle shaped up very well to win that game. I really do. But there's obviously those elements, and I think David M brought it up in the chat, like last year against the Cardinals, Week 16. That stinker performance could happen in any one of these games down the stretch. So there's obviously that to be aware of too. I agree with that.
Okay, so I want to introduce Hasher. What's up, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. So Hasher's been in my previous call-in streams, so he's done this a couple times. So how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. Sorry for my cam not on. I'm literally sitting in the hallway. I don't want to.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll ask you the same question I ask everyone. How are you feeling about this Giants game tomorrow?
Oh, me, of course, I feel good playing any NFC East team except obviously the Washington football team when we play them eventually. But I'm feeling good about this. This should be a 2-score win type of game.
Definitely.
I'd say like 34-17, something like that, or 30-17. Like, we got to go back to that pass first kind of offense. I know a lot of people like running the ball, but this team is built to pass the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people seem to think that the reason why I make the Let Russ Cook videos and why I talk about this stuff is because, oh, you just like to pass. You just like to pass. You're a fan of the passing game. No, I'm not really a fan of passing. I'm a fan of scoring points, and I want the team to do whatever they need to do in order to score the most points. If I was a Ravens fan, I'd want us to run the ball because I have a QB who is a running back, and using running attack, I would want us to run the ball all the time, but that's not what we have. We have Carson, who is good, but he's not Adrian Peterson, he's not Barry Sanders, and we have Russell Wilson, we have DK Metcalf and Lockett, and we have a great passing attack. So that can change from game to game. Certain games, we're going to want to run the ball more.
Well, let me ask you this too, Brendan, now that you brought up the passing game, right, for tomorrow. So with Bradbury, mostly I think he'll mostly be on Metcalf. Obviously, that's up for, see how they scheme tomorrow. But do you think Lockett is due?
I try not to think about things in terms of that because, that's fantasy football stuff sometimes.
Fair, good point.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people in my chats over the last couple of days say, "Where's Lockett? What's up with Lockett? What's wrong with Lockett?" I'm like, a month ago he had the best game of his career, and maybe the best game by any receiver in franchise history. So it's going to happen. And look, DK Metcalf.
If he gets open, he's going to get the ball.
Yeah. Period. Yeah, I try not to get caught up in that kind of stuff because if DK Metcalf is getting open and catching the ball, then I want him to get the ball over Lockett because Metcalf is way more destructive of a player than Lockett.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. DK is going to break tackles. He's going to make people miss. He's going to run people over. He's going to do stuff with the football that Lockett is not capable of doing, especially not now. I don't even know if Lockett's that fast at this point. He's, not slow, but I don't consider him to be some Tyreek Hill type speedster like he might have been once upon a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Lockett will find a way. A lot of people think he's playing hurt. I'm not convinced of that yet. And yeah, I'm not worried about. Thank you, the Hawk's Nest. The Hawk's Nest just popped by to say hello. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's runs a YouTube channel, pretty big one. Congrats on 200K, which that's not how many I have. That's 2 million. I definitely don't have 2 million subs, but yeah, stay on that rise. Thank you, Hawk's Nest.
If he was injured.
Hey, I want to ask Brandon Michael. Is it Brandon Mikel? Michael? Is that how you say it?
Either one.
I was asking you a question. Does my profile pic right now look familiar to anything?
From Instagram, I know that. Do I follow you?
Yeah, you follow me.
Cool. Oh, what account are you?
You sure? I want you to guess that.
Oh shoot, bro! I don't know.
Without cheating.
I don't know. How many followers do you got? Maybe that'll help me.
1.5K.
1.5K. Brendan, do you know?
No, I'm not very active on Instagram.
Here, I got you a hint. It starts with Seahawks, but then
thanks for that. I thought it was the Bills or something. Seahawks. Damn, just turned into trivia all of a sudden?
Yeah, Seahawks 69,420.
Whatever. I got you guys. Whatever. Let's get it over with. It's Seahawks.wire.
Oh,
Seahawks. I think I've seen that one. I don't think I follow it. I
Brandon,
follow.
Come on, man, follow me.
I should. I do have an Instagram, but I never use it. I should start using it.
I'll be honest with y'all, since obviously the HaWKcast, I check out his content a lot.
Thanks.
When I make my posts and start talking about my recaps, I'm not gonna lie, Brendan, I kind of use your words. I kind of do.
Well, I get that too. Sometimes I'll see a point that Hawk Blogger made and be like, that's a good point. I agree with that point. I think I'm going to use that. It does happen from time to time. I see stuff on Twitter, great minds sometimes think alike. And also about the Lockett question, just to go into the Tyler Lockett thing again, he did have 7 catches against Arizona, right? Wasn't he pretty good against Arizona the second time as well?
Yeah, he had 7 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, to me, that's a pretty good game, especially in a game like that when the offense wasn't blowing up. So
how come we can't use our receivers the way the Falcons do? You know how like Matt Ryan basically gives Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley 100-yard game like basically every game.
Well, that's not necessarily a good thing sometimes. Sometimes you're throwing the ball that much because your defense is terrible and you're behind by 3 touchdowns the whole game. That's not necessarily a good thing. Sometimes those yards are trash yards, and you don't actually want that to be happening. That being said, I do think that actually I would rather see some of those targets go to the tight ends because we're not using our tight ends at all right now.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, and
it's like Hollister just fell off the map. Like,
yeah, he was never that much on the map, year. But like
I saw him get the ball all the time, and it just fell off the map.
Yeah, Will Dissly was on the field for 48 snaps against the Eagles, and he had 0 targets.
I know, that's insane.
Yeah, that's insane. So Hollister actually got targeted a few times against the Eagles, not very successfully, but.
Well, we use Hollister as like what's it called? Like that play boot type of tight end, the easy little dump off, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
he sometimes plays kind of like the halfback role almost.
Yeah.
Or fullback role, kind of. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but yeah, it just seems very weird to me because we need somebody, and I think Josh Gordon could be this guy, but Will Dissly could be that guy too. He's been it before, unless the first 10 games of his career was a massive fluke.
Wait, Brennan, what's your score prediction for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I'm going to say, let's go with 27-10.
Ooh, going for the 3 score. Okay.
That's cool.
Okay, I'm going to bring Rogers back on. He glitched out. He's back. Brandon, welcome.
Yeah, I figure I got some more time.
Okay, yeah. I don't think this is going to be going for too much longer. We've gone 2.5 hours. Nobody's in the queue right now. So I think this is probably going to kind of be, we're going to wind things down. But yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So
the spread is opened at negative 10.5.
Yeah, I saw negative 10. I saw negative 11. I saw negative 10.5. And if
I think we should win anywhere from 10 to 17 points. It's Colt McCoy. The Giants' offense doesn't really. Pose a threat
Wayne Gallum is
or
nice.
A scare, honestly. Well, but Seattle stops the run, so 3.7 yards a carry. So
yeah.
I think should is the key word. We should be winning a lot of these games by.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. But also, look at the crazy stuff that sometimes has to happen in order for us to not win by multiple scores. Like the Eagles literally had the freakiest Hail Mary of all time.
Oh yeah,
make that game look a little better than it was.
The Falcons game too. Remember when we were basically up by 3 scores until a garbage time touchdown?
Yeah, exactly. The Falcons had some garbage time antics as well. So yeah, sometimes crazy stuff happens to keep us from winning. I think the Eagles last year were down 17-3, and then they scored a touchdown in garbage time to make it look a little better.
And I just want to make this one point real quick. I think you all can agree, and I think most fans would just alone. I think when this Seattle secondary is at full strength, they have to be one of the best units in football. Like when they're fully healthy, they have the talent to be great. They really do, in my opinion. You got one of the best safety tandems. You got a Pro Bowl cornerback, formerly in Shaquille. You got Quentin Dunbar. He's played pretty well this season, I think, and I think the statistics really, you can say because they a lot of the opponents have been behind. Obviously, that's why they're throwing the ball more. But I think when they're fully healthy, this secondary has some of the best talent in the league.
Yeah. The talent is undoubtedly there. The talent is there. That's why I say I'm tired of blaming these players, because when I saw what I saw, the Buffalo Bills, for instance, or even to a certain extent Arizona, it's like you can't tell me these players are that bad. I saw Shaq Griffin make the Pro Bowl last year. I saw Dunbar be one of the best corners in the league last for the Redskins. I saw Jamal Adams be the best safety in football for the Jets. I saw Quandre Diggs be a good safety for us last year and for the Lions before that. So either all these guys forgot how to play football or there's something else going on.
Yeah. And there's a playmaker at every stage of the defense now with the Dunlap edition. You know, a lot of playmakers on the defensive side. It's just got to be better execution.
You know, I'm not a big fan of Jerron Reed, but getting Dunlap in there has made Reed a much better player. And Puna, actually. I want to say that.
I've been, you know, I didn't expect a lot from Puna coming into the year, but I mean, I still thought he was a good player, but damn, he's really surprised me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So Brandon, I was wondering who that jersey was, 97. And at first I thought it was 87. And I was like, who was worn 87? Is that Kellen Davis?
Puna Ford.
I was thinking, like, is that a Kellen Davis jersey, our third string tight end from the year we won the Super Bowl? And Puna, okay.
Yeah, I got that Puna. I got like 14 jerseys. That's like kind of like my hobby.
Yeah. I'm not a jersey person because they're not comfortable to wear. I have a 12-man gray jersey. But yeah, that's not a bad jersey to get. I mean, everyone's going to be walking around with the Metcalfs in a couple years and the Jamal Adams, but there won't be. All right.
Okay, I wanted to make a point that was Seahawks.
Okay.
People beating up on Carson Wentz, I get it. Beating up on Carson Wentz is funny, but honestly, he doesn't deserve it given how piss poor that O-line is.
Oh yeah, they've been in shambles all season.
Retiring at home at record speed.
Yeah, it's not all his fault. He's still missing throws though. Like, you know, I'm friends with a couple of Eagles fans, and I saw them arguing after week 1 when they had a big lead against Washington, and then they blew that lead because Carson Wentz threw 2 picks. And one Eagles fan was saying like, oh, well, this isn't Wentz's fault because the offensive line is so terrible. And then the other Eagles fan was saying, Wentz threw 2 picks on plays where he wasn't pressured at all. I know he's getting blasted on a lot of other plays, but that doesn't excuse the interceptions on plays when he's actually got a pocket, when he actually isn't getting pressured at all. So, yeah, I don't know. I was a Carson Wentz fan until very recently, but for me, his career, it's not totally his fault, by the way. He used to be more athletic, and then he tore his ACL.
Oh, yeah, those ACL injuries are, very killer.
I don't think he came back the same. I don't.
Fire Pete Carroll.
All right, Brandon. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. We're kind of winding things down tonight, so I'm going to field a couple more things here. But, Brandon, thank you for coming out, man.
Wait, which one?
Mikel.
Okay, I was like so confused. All right.
Yeah. All right. So
we're going live later, right?
Yeah, I am going to be playing with Snacks tonight. I'm going to play the prison game and hope there's a shower scene, or hope not. I don't know. You know.
Cool. I'll see you there then, Brent. Congrats on 2K, right, dude.
Thank you. See you
later.
Okay, I'm gonna. Kyle wants to come back in, so I'm assuming he might have something to say. So I'm gonna bring him in real quick. Kyle, what's up?
Hey, I was just. I didn't get the score prediction. Did you get a score prediction out yet?
27-10.
27-10. I'm gonna go ahead and go with 33-15.
Okay. How do you get to 15 though?
I just see them. I see Colt McCoy trying to lead this team, because you got to think they are in the race for the division. They're going to try their hardest. They do got a lot. They do got a strong defense. You never know. Russell Wilson might throw a pick 6. Anything can happen. I'm not going to say this defense can hold them to under 10 points. I really think they can. I think they can get to 15.
Do you see the analytics kicking in and they go for 2?
Yeah. Do they go for a 2-point conversion, or do they kick 5 field goals?
I say they go for 5 field goals.
That's going more than 10 is if they get a special teams play or something like that.
Yeah. Or do they get 4 safeties and 1 touchdown?
I don't see them getting 4 safeties.
Hey, Brendan.
Yeah, Hasher.
So about your Washington Huskies, there's a rival quarterback of mine. We were both. He's on your team. He just he got an offer from there. He's quarterback for you guys. I know he's not starting, but I just want you to guess if you know him, because me and him are rivals. He went to Corona Del Mar. I went to Woodbridge High School. Just want you to guess if you know who that quarterback is.
Well, obviously it's not Dylan. God, we have so many damn backup QBs. Yeah, I don't know, man. You're gonna.
It's Ethan Garbers.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Has he played? I think he got to play.
I don't No, the backup QB who came in the Arizona game was somebody different, I think. I think.
Hey, but he's really good, man. Like, I really want him to start. Not even kidding, because he would blow us out back when we were in high school. I mean, we never beat him.
All right.
One more thing. So 2 weeks ago, I actually I seen someone predicting a score on the Giants game. Like 2 weeks ago, I said that Jamal Adams was going to get two picks and a forced fumble.
I could go for that.
Shoot.
I mean, he's got 2 picks in his whole career, so I would definitely be pretty happy with that.
Oh, yeah, hot take. Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams will not have an interception this season.
Oh.
I mean, at this point, it's not that hot of a take. It's
fine, regular take.
They don't need to force the turnovers. We got the other departments, Quandre Diggs, other pieces can do that. So
yeah.
You know.
By the way, I don't know if he'll get kind of pushed back because our defense has been so bad, but Diggs now has 3 picks. He may end up making the Pro Bowl using that as most of the fuel.
I'll tell you what, Diggs has been one of the best acquisitions over the past 3-4 seasons. It's been great.
Did you see Diggs get ran over by Carson Wentz though, man? On that third down play.
I think I do remember that. Yeah. You know, Wentz is big.
It's funny hearing all these Eagle or just fans in general saying that you almost lost to the Eagles. I mean, 8 of those points were garbage time, for God's sakes. Like,
yeah. And
oh, man.
6 of them were because they missed the worst unintentional grounding of all time.
Oh, that was asinine. Yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of calls too. I'm not really that mad about it, but still,
dude, the referee was standing right there.
Yeah.
Like,
that drive should not have happened.
It was definitely 3 yards before the.
Oh man, it was like 3 yards short. Yeah.
Hey, what's your guys' Super Bowl prediction? I know, like, we're not even in the playoffs yet, but like, do you guys have like a pre-season prediction?
I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs in Seattle. I'm gonna say the Seahawks irk it out by 3 points.
It's got to be Chiefs, Seahawks, Chiefs, Saints. It's got to be something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Green Bay's making it all the way because their defense is
I think if Tampa gets their act together, I think they can make a run, but
they have too many playmakers not to be doing nothing.
Oh, they do, yeah, definitely. Both sides of the ball.
That's horrible.
It really hurt when they lost Vita Vea. It really hurt when they lost.
Oh, yeah, it did, yeah. Definitely.
That'd be like if we lost. That'd be kind of like if we lost Puna Ford right now with what he's doing, combined with maybe losing Jerron Reed.
Now,
Vea's that good.
Now, I saw a post. Trey Flowers was placed on the IR today, correct?
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Well, we do get Dunbar
he's bad
back
anyway.
next week. Dunbar is back next week, so.
Yeah, they're saying Dunbar will be back next week.
Okay.
But Trey can come back in time for the Rams game because IR is only 3 games this year.
How many targets do you think Golden Tate will get this game tomorrow?
Ooh, Golden Tate.
Well, I'm going to say
they didn't have any other receivers.
It'll be a limited passing game by the Giants, so I get Seattle's the worst in passing.
What if we jump on the Giants and go up 17-0 in the second quarter, and then they just
that'd be great. But I mean, I don't know. You really trust Colt McCoy to pass the ball like that?
No, but you might not have a choice if you because it's not like the Giants are tanking.
Well, yeah, true.
I think they're probably going to win that division right now.
And I'll tell you what though, if they do win that division, and if the Rams are the 5 seed, the Giants gave the Rams fits earlier in the year. I'm just saying, and it's in New York, so
Well, who are the other two? Aren't the other 2 teams playing 8-3 and the Steelers? Who else is playing in the division right now?
Well, it could be Washington, but the thing is, the Giants swept Washington.
Yeah,
the Washington, the football team, they're playing the Steelers, and then the Eagles are playing the
Packers.
The Packers. So
yeah, and the Cowboys are playing the Ravens.
Could beat the Steelers.
Steelers are overrated.
They are overrated. I don't trust Big Ben. I really trust their defense is amazing. I just don't trust Big Ben.
Well, they just lost Bud Dupree. That's huge.
That's big. Yeah. Franchise tag gets another one, man. They got Dak, and now it's going to get Bud Dupree. And
I'll tell you what though. Whoever, and I think this is going to make a big difference this year because we really haven't seen Mahomes in a road playoff game. Like the Super Bowl really doesn't count. But if the Steelers hold on to that 1 seed, Mahomes and the Chiefs traveling to Pittsburgh, and Mike Tomlin's one of the best coaches off of a bye. So is Andy Reid. So. I don't know. Pittsburgh might be able to give them fits if it's in Pittsburgh. So,
Yeah,
I think they give him fits either way. But
match Seahawks versus the Steelers.
I mean, it's possible, but
watch out for the Titans. Nobody.
Yeah,
for the Titans, they could cover the AFC.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on the Titans when they lost Taylor Lewan, but now they're actually playing really well without him. So I
feel like they run through Derrick Henry too much. If Derrick Henry is not going, they're not going.
Well, Ryan Tannehill is not the quarterback you want in a shootout.
Exactly.
I'm a big Tannehill fan, but
you are.
Okay. Yeah, I like Tannehill a lot. I think Arthur Smith has a lot to do with it, but I love that Titans offense. It just spans play action. But I like Tannehill. I think he's a really good quarterback, actually, and I think he's proven to be great running that offense with all that play action. Now,
yeah, fair.
A lot of QBs maybe would, but he's a QB who I think people underrate a little bit.
Are we gonna go undefeated down the stretch?
I do. I think they
I
would.
believe so. If you heard Russell Wilson and his last game after the game, he said that hopefully we win the last ending stretch. So I mean, he likes pressure. He likes the games close, and you know what they say: pressure makes diamonds.
Well, yeah, Pete. Yeah, they all love the games close, but
Aaron Rodgers for MVP.
Yeah, no, I believe that. I don't think Russ is getting that MVP trophy.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about it anymore. And you know
who
what?
cares? Yeah, honestly, all that matters is the division.
You know I want that Super Bowl ring.
All that matters is the division and getting the NFC Championship and getting the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Yeah, MVP, whatever.
I mean that's like on the side of the cake. You know what I mean? That's the icing. So you don't really need the sweet stuff. You know what I'm saying? You just want the thing.
Yeah. All right, guys. We've been going for about 2 hours and 40 minutes. So I think it's about time for me to go ahead and wrap this up. So thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You let me be on here with you.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So
should be a good one tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. So, Asher, thank you for coming on, my man.
Thank you.
Hey, Brendan, I have one question for you, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
So your green screen. I have a green screen. I don't know what software do you use.
Streamlabs OBS.
Streamlabs OBS.
Yeah.
It's easy to set up.
It just go look for chroma key, and then you get to play with the settings. Chroma key. You need good lighting. I don't have good lighting, which is why I have issues with mine, which is why I'm going to remodel here. So I actually have lights here.
Yeah,
right
no, this lighting's a little bright.
But yeah. So yeah.
All right, man. Hey, you have a great night. Hey, I really appreciate it.
No problem, my man. You have a good rest of your night as well. So that'll do it for the call-in part of our show. I think we got everyone in who wanted to come in. I didn't see anybody try to get in and not get an opportunity to come in. So we will be doing this again in the future regardless. So I'll call this a pretty successful call-in show. Nicholas, I see you're still there. Thank you for coming out tonight, Nicholas.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go get prison raped in a video game.
Sounds good.
See everybody later. Stream is going down. Hope everybody enjoyed, and see you guys shortly. Peace out. Go Hawks.